There we go. Okay. Hi. As soon as I said that, freaking, they started lighting fireworks outside. Welcome back. Thank you, thank you. Okay, the fireworks are distracting me. I had some dinner. Let me see. No, that's not what I wanted. I want this. Come on, load. Jesus Christ. Oh, I hate you so much sometimes. There we go. That's what I wanted. That's all I wanted. Is that too much to ask for? Is that too much to ask for? Jeez. Let me see. Um, Let me see. I was watching and fell asleep as we raided, and I slept as soon as I woke up. You started streaming again. Gave me enough time to have some dinner and feed the pets. My cat, her greed sickens me, honestly. I fed her. I go to like she like will trip me if I don't feed her fast enough. So I fed her first. And then I go to feed the dog. And she's in the room. I feed them separately. So she's in my room eating. And as soon as she hears me pour the dog food into the bowl, she comes running and like sticks her face into it. I'm like, you asshole, it's not for you. How was your Halloween? It was good. It was good. A 2-stream Halloween. My cat pukes because she eats too. Oh my gosh, silly kitty. Yeah, I've had to cut my cat's portions because she will just like devour it, or she'll just be like, I know I said I was hungry, but I'm not actually gonna eat this food that you made for me, that you set up for me. Because I mix her food. Um, I always add some water to her food, and I add some wet cat food, and I add some dried beef liver to it. And that's how I make the both pets' food. So that's how I make the dog food, and that's how I make the cat food. So then sometimes she'll just let the food sit there instead of eating it, and I'm like, okay, you asshole, you're like threatening to trip me. Ah, why is that so loud? You're like threatening to trip me, and when I feed you, you're like, no, 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 thank you. I'm a pretty little princess. But she is. I love her. I try to do that, but she ends up annoying my grandma too much, and she feeds my cat. Ah, yeah, yeah. She knows where I like to keep her food, so like if she's like hungry and she's like, woman, you need to hurry up and feed me. You need to hurry up. It's that time. It's that time of day. I can like hear her little paws against the wall trying to open the little cloud cabinet it's in. I'm like, look here. Look here. I moved the kind of containers that the pet foods are into now. They um they are in like these plastic containers where you have to screw the lid off and on. And she can't get into that. Cuz if I leave like if a bag of food is accessible and I'm not paying attention, even if I fed her like an hour ago, she will just like, I'm just gonna rip this bag open. I'm gonna rip this bag open and get cat food everywhere. She gets most of the food down luckily. She doesn't puke too often. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I had to. My cat was puking. And I'm like, no, it's time to reduce how much I'm feeding you. And, I'll just like give her a treat at another part in the day. Ugh. She's older, so she's not even as active anyways. She got chunky. Their greed is immeasurable. It is. And yet, like, when it comes to like my plate of food, she's really good. She doesn't really like get into my food, which I really appreciate. Like she'll just sit next to me while I'm eating, like, and but I think it's because I like to like interact with her like when I'm eating. So like she's like curious, then I'll just kind of like hold out like the plate and let her like sniff it, and then like that seems to like just please her. Like this is an us activity. You can sniff it. I'm happy for you to like investigate and like sniff the food, but don't eat it. Let's see. Okay. Right, OBS like went crazy when I reopened it. It was like, we're gonna go crazy. Cat 7 8. Oh, my cat is 12. She's gonna be 13 next September. My baby girl. My baby. Okay, I need some coffee. Okay. Alright, so the plan, an old beanie. She doesn't even look old. It's crazy. Like, she does not look like she's 12. If I didn't have pictures of her when I first got her, you know what? Maybe somebody replaced my cat. She doesn't lick my nose like she used to. When she was younger, she would lick my nose when we cuddle. Now she doesn't. But yeah, if I had like the pictures of the day I got her, I'd be like, no, this cat, she's gotta be like 6 max. Even when I took her to get spayed, she was 8 when I took her to get spayed, and they were like, she does not look like an 8-year-old cat. I was like, right? She's like the pinnacle of youth. Anyways, so the plan for today, I don't know how I feel about this thing flopping around. The plan for today is to read creepypastas. Yeah, read creepypastas. That's gonna be fun. And then I have a Nexpo video that I haven't watched yet, so I thought we can watch that together. Because it's Nexpo. He likes the creepy stuff. Wait, my dad texted me. What do you want? I didn't tell him happy Father's Day. Happy Halloween. Jesus Christ. I can't talk. I'm struggling. Oh, yeah, he sent me happy Halloween. Where do I show a picture of my kitty? Stupid. Did I not have a pet thing in the Discord? There's a sharing channel, the Food and Share, which is an unfortunate name to say to post a picture of your pet in Food and Share. But yeah. It's stupid. Let's see. Did you already? I did eat. I did. I had some chicken and some mashed potatoes and some veggies. I will never get the Costco freaking rotisserie chicken. Not Costco. Costco rotisserie chicken is delicious. Amazon. Amazon has rotisserie chicken. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's super bland. Is this your costume? Yeah, you like it? Is it cute? I'm a ghost. Boo. Wow, asshole. What do you mean no? I was fitting for her. I threatened to cook my cat up when she talks back to me. Aww. Good kitty. I'd like the other one you showed. My nun? With the other model? uh should we make this like the retirement stream for this model? I mean, it is in the thumbnail, to be fair. It is in the thumbnail. We keep it. No, not the current model we're on, but for this one. I'm not gonna like delete it. Still have it, but we won't be using it. We won't be using it like we were. Wait, wait. We need boop and no. There we go. Can't forget the red eyes. What are you doing for Halloween? We're streaming for Halloween. What do you mean? It's time for creepy pastas. Creepy pastas. Creepy pastas. Wait, let me add. Let me add some atmosphere. You're gonna read, yeah? Do you not like my reading, Froggy? You don't. No. Okay. Okay. Alright. Shit. You're like a librarian? Oh my god. What the heck? Wait, librarians are supposed to read. That's supposed to be like a compliment. I'm surprised. I did when I did volunteer work at the library, we never ended up actually even to read stuff. I would mostly just help kids pick out books for their summer reading program. Okay, I don't know why this light is white and I don't like it. Let me see. No, that's the one I want. This one's the one I don't want. That was the same one. I'm a dork. There we go. That's what I don't want. We want to turn down. Summer breeding. Okay. Send a picture of my cat. Fair warning, there's a reason her name is Missy Moo. 10 out of 10. Hot librarian. It's not a hot librarian. It's my creepy evil cult nun outfit. Wait. It has to be more creepy. Wait. There we go. I have to close this so I can add to it. Wait. There we go. Haha. My neighbors are being loud. This is too scary. You asked for it. You specifically asked for this. What do you mean it's too scary? This is exactly what you asked for. You're welcome. I asked for it. No. You asked for this. I did this for you. You should be like, Mama, thank you. You're the best. You're the best. Let me see, window capture. Wait, Mama, like, okay, asshole. She's always, I'm not scary. What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm like the sweetest person you'll ever meet. Like, literally. Literally. This is the worst. You're such a dick. Debatable, you start it. Like, you literally always start it. You are constantly always choosing violence. No. Frog too. Frog is always over here like, I'm gonna piss off Mama and tell her the wrong thing in freaking Fortnite. It's funny. Your face is funny. Freaking toxic. Window capture. I was born. I was born from you, so there. Okay, asshole. You're adopted. Did you never realize that? What is your focus on Oopa Loopas today? This week? Okay. Hey, what are you, 12? I'm gonna fight both of you. I thought I had my hands full with, like, Frog and Icy. Now I got Bubbles. Bubbles to add into, like, problem children. You both take it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why are you bullying? Why are you bullying the streamer? This is rude. So rude. I can just see Niku with the little froggy emote with the little classic. I bother you like I bother my actual mother. Your poor mother. Streamers hates reviewers. That's not true. You know I love you, Frog. You just piss me off, like, all the time. You said I thought you do. Just get to... Okay, asshole. There was one... What the hell is that? Okay. There was... It's creepypasta. Asshole. There was... I opened up... Can I eat spicy wall cotton candy? Please don't. Please don't eat the spicy wall cotton candy. Is that microphone picking up my neighbors yelling outside? No. Okay, good. They're just, like, distracting me. No? Good. Stupid neighbors. They're probably getting ready to, like, take the grandkids out. Trick-or-treating. What time is it? No, they should be already out trick-or-treating. Oh. So let's do top from this year. It's 11 p.m. Frog, you know we have a time difference. You know we have a time difference. It's not 11 p.m. for me. You know this. I've had 34 kids come for trick-or-treating. Oh, wow. That's a lot. Even like before we moved to like an apartment complex, we weren't getting a lot of like trick-or-treaters last couple of years. Which kind of sucks. Yeah, 7. About 80 bucks worth of game. What the? You just ate it all, didn't you? You were like a snack for me. What is my PC acting stupid for? I live in a small town. I mean, I feel like that seems like more of the spot where you'll see more kids interacting and being out and about. Wow. Why did I get super choppy? It's crazy. Like, if you like live in a city, there's more stuff for kids to do besides go trick-or-treating. They can like go to a party. There's probably like Halloween events. Oh wait, you moved out, Froggy? You're all by your lonesome? Thank you for the hydrate. This time, then what are you talking about? You moved? What the? I was about to congratulate you. I'm talking about the house of the. Whatever. Did you forget? No, I didn't forget. One of the worst arc of my life. I think it's a growing experience. I consider it a good thing. Growing experiences are good. Why is my PC running so crazy? I feel like I should restart. I need to make a goal. I need to make a goal for subs for a new CPU. I need a freaking upgrade PC. Alright. Did the training arc come after like a 2-year time skip? Gonna fight a truck. There was... Did I not save it? There was one I was gonna read. Oh, what is that? My daughter is missing. I don't want you to find her. Like that meme of the dad who loses their son. That loses their son in the shopping center, and he's like, "Can I use your intercom?" And he goes, "Goodbye, you little shit." my gosh. Okay. I should have stretched some more before I got back on stream. My back is stiff. Dude, what? What up, dude? What up, dude, bro? What up, my... That scared the shit. What scared you? What are you talking about? That was a zombie. I mean, you'd be safe, Froggy. Zombies eat brains. Let me see. You're so mean. No, 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 no. I'm so nice. What do you mean? Jatam. Jatam, Froggy. Mon ami. Mon ami. Jatam. Jatam. Okay. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get it started in ha. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started in ha. Sorry. Let me see. Can I open this? I want some background music though. I'm ready. Are you ready? We need some creepy background music. Let's see. Will YouTube slow down VTube Studio? There we go. Hey, some candy you gonna share? You gonna share your candy with me? Oh, perfect. Perfect. This is good. Are you really? No, Froggy, I'm not mean. I'm not mean. I'm like the nicest. I'm Mama. I have a brain, I have chocolate. I kind of wish I had got some ice cream, but we're eating ice cream cake tomorrow for Niku's birthday, so I don't need the sugar. Okay. I like cake. Me too. I haven't had ice cream cake in a long time. But both of the same. You've never had freaking like a scoop of ice cream with your birthday cake, Froggy? Come on. Come on. You know that's some good shit. Froggy, is the music too loud? Should I lower it? Or should I raise it? Birthday cake is... Oh my god. Birthday cake is cake! The music is a good volume. A bit higher? Okay. How's that? As long as it's not louder than me, then it should be good. Good, 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 good. Good, good. If I find out you you fucked up my audio, I'll beat you up. I will fly out there and beat you. No, see, I believe you, Froggy. I believe you. We're not playing a video game. Full. Alright. Creepypasta number 1. My daughter is missing. I don't want you to find her. I've always wanted to be a mother. I remember when I was in kindergarten, all the kids were supposed to share what they wanted to be when they grew up. Most kids said things like firefighter, astronaut, doctor, cat doctor, etc. I said mother. My teacher, Miss Moss, told me I could be a mother as well as something else and urged me to pick another dream job. Honestly, I couldn't think of one. But because all the other kids were staring at me, I blurted out, teacher. That made Miss Moss smile, but it made me feel bad because I knew I was lying to her. I always hated lying to people. That's why I'm going to tell you the truth, I promise. I always knew I was going to be a mother, but never in a million years could I have ever imagined I'd have a daughter like Freya. I always knew I was going to be a mother. Oh wait, I always read that line. When I was in my teens, I got my first serious boyfriend, Jack. I started birth control because I knew it was a responsible thing to do. Logically, I knew I wasn't ready to be a mother, but I still couldn't help the feeling of despair that washed over me each time I swallowed another pill. Emotionally, it felt so wrong, putting this barrier between myself and my longest held dream. Sometimes, I'd even cry. These feelings became especially acute when Jack and I decided to get married. I wanted to start our family immediately, but Jack wanted us to finish university and get settled in our careers before talking about kids. I agreed. That was a logical thing to do. I kept swallowing those pills while pouring my longing into journals. I'd make lists of baby names and dream about who my child would grow up to be. Would they want to be a doctor? Or perhaps an investigative journalist? Maybe their greatest desire would to be a parent, like me. I followed mommy bloggers online, memorizing their tips and tricks, so I'd be ready to be the best mom ever. Simultaneously wondering if my family would be as perfect as theirs. But I honestly wasn't going for perfection. I just wanted to have a happy kid who would feel loved and be their unique self. I knew whoever arrived, I was ready to love them to the stars and back. I was going to be the best mom I knew I would be. Frog, you asshole. Finally, Jack and I were ready to start our family. But it turned out harder than I expected. Much harder. Months turned into years, and every negative test hit like a knockout punch. It never got easier. It probably didn't help that I was still following those perfect mommy bloggers with their perfect families. So I started following others who were sharing about their fertility journeys. People who were struggling as much as me. That helped me start sharing my own experiences. It felt so good knowing I wasn't alone. It felt like being a part of this amazing community of people I'd never met. Each time a fellow struggler finally found success, we all congratulated them joyfully. But alone, with Jack, I'd cry. I was tired of waiting for my turn. I know this wasn't only taking its toll on me, Jack was struggling too. One day, while I was crying in his arms, he asked me, if we aren't able to have kids, would a life with just the two of us be so bad? My silence was enough for us to both understand my answer to that. Jack and I decided to use our savings to try IVF. The process was tough emotionally and physically. Injections, ultrasounds, waiting, but it all felt worth it to me. Then finally, it happened. I was pregnant. The world finally felt like it made sense to me. Jack and I were overjoyed. It felt like I was walking on fluffy white clouds. That was before I knew what was coming. Trigger warning, child loss. We find out I was carrying a boy. We named him Oliver. But then, during a routine ultrasound, everything changed. The technician's silence and the doctor's grave expression told us what we didn't want to hear. Something was wrong. Those fluffy white clouds I'd been walking on, they became dark storm clouds that surrounded me for the rest of my pregnancy. We knew our son wasn't going to live long after his birth. In the end, one day was all we got with our perfect boy. I loved him to the stars and back, and I still do. I just wish I could have done something more to give him more time. I couldn't help but feel I'd failed him as a mother. The next days, weeks, months passed in a haze of grief so heavy I didn't know how we'd survive it. The nursery we'd so joyfully prepared now felt like a cruel joke. Silence felt deafening, and any noise was the wrong noise. I'd like to say that our relationship grew stronger through our shared grief, but it didn't. I wanted to start trying for another baby. I thought it would help us step forward out of the darkness we had felt trapped in. I thought it would be good for us to have something to look forward to. But Jack said he wasn't ready. He said he had to build back up our savings. It didn't take me long to get him to admit that actually the main reason was that he was scared about having another sick child. Jack packed his bag to stay at a hotel for a night. He said he just needed a bit of space. He never moved back. Somehow, in the midst of all this, I found myself back online, sharing my story. The responses poured in, messages of love and shared pain, messages I clung to with desperation, as if each were a lifeline. I was in the bleakest part of my life, and those lifelines were essential. To make things even worse, I couldn't keep up with the mortgage, so we had to list our house for sale. I shared all of this to my followers. Now I wonder, and I've never shared anything online, would my daughter even exist? I think it was because I shared my story that the New Genesis Institute found me. Maybe Dr. Hart did personally read my posts, or maybe an algorithm pointed them toward who they were looking for. A desperate woman who would give anything, do anything, for a child. I don't know how they found me, but I know that Freya wouldn't exist without them. It was early on a Sunday morning when I received this email. We are thrilled to extend to you an invitation to participate in an exclusive opportunity at the New Genesis Institute, a private fertility clinic dedicated to pioneering the future of human health and wellness. After learning about your fertility challenges and the heartbreaking loss you've endured, we believe you are uniquely positioned to benefit from and contribute to the groundbreaking work at the New Genesis Institute. Your journey has resonated deeply with Dr. Evelyn Hart, whose mission is not only to support those facing struggles, but also to advance the science of preventative medicine for future generations. To access your official invitation, please first sign the required NDA. There was a link to an NDA. I was nervous about clicking anything. It looked legit, but was this really some sort of horrible scam? By doing a quick search online, I learned that the New Genesis Institute was founded by Dr. Evelyn Hart, a billionaire philanthropist who had been funding health incentives for years. There were hardly any photos of her. Dr. Hart appeared notorious for staying away from the public, but her name was credited on numerous scientific journals. She seemed super impressive. Dr. Hart had made her fortune early in her career when she innovated a disease testing device now used in clinics around the world. I suddenly felt something I hadn't in a long time: excitement and hope. My heart started to beat fast in my chest. I decided to take the leap. I clicked the NDA, heart racing now. I skimmed an extensive document, gleaning it was meant to ensure that any and all information about the Institute would remain strictly confidential. I signed it swiftly and pressed submit. Then I was taken to my official invitation. Thank you for considering the New Genesis Institution. Founded by renowned Dr. Evelyn Hart, the New Genesis Institute is at the forefront of revolutionary research in preventative medicine, with a focus on creating healthier and stronger generations. We are conducting a series of elite fertility treatments designed not only to help women conceive, but to ensure that future children are born with optimal health to give them the best possible chance at life. Should you decide to take part in our program, you will receive a personalized fertility treatment designed by Dr. Hart and her team, accommodation during your treatment and pregnancy at the New Genesis Institute, personalized health care for the duration of your participation, financial support for you and your child in the years of their development in exchange for participation in scheduled health monitoring for research purposes, the opportunity to contribute to a better future, ensuring the next generation is equipped to thrive. This invitation is offered to a select few individuals, and it is fully funded by Dr. Hart's personal investment in the future of medicine. Your resilience and willingness to embrace new possibilities have made you an ideal candidate for our program. If you want to participate in our innovative fertility program, please RSVP at your earliest convenience. We look forward to the opportunity to welcome you to the New Genesis Institute. As stated in the letter, for I don't know how long, reading it, and rereading it, and rereading it, then suddenly, before I even realized, I was making the decision. I was responding. Thank you so much for reaching out. Yes, I would love to participate. The response came quickly. I received an email with detailed instructions. A private car would pick me up on March 1st, followed by a flight to their facility. The email explained that the New Genesis Institute was located on a private island, a place that, from the photos in the email, looked more like a resort than a clinic. Towering palm trees and sparkling blue waters surrounded white buildings that gleamed in the sunlight. It didn't seem real, but then again, no part of the situation felt real. It didn't bother me at the time that I couldn't find the Institute on a map. They had a detailed, extreme security in the NDA. Instead of being nervous, I preferred to embrace a dream of a different reality that took me away from my current, depressing existence. Plus, it was the perfect timing. I was looking for a rental starting March 1st, and as the accommodation was included during my stay at the Institute, I wouldn't have to worry about that. All I had to do was move all of my stuff to a storage unit and let my life take me where it was going to take me. I had spent so many years trying to achieve a specific plan. Giving over to this felt right to me. Somehow, it felt like I was winning the lottery. I let that high feeling carry me to March 1st. When March 1st came, that was the first time I felt true fear. What if this is all a scam? Or worse, a joke? Was someone playing me? And if they were, why? But the car arrived precisely when it said it would, and it took me to an airport where I was welcomed onto a small plane. Apart from the crew, there were 2 other people on board, Claire and Mariah. I learned that they were also going to participate in Dr. Hart's treatment. On the flight, we got to know each other. Claire and Mariah had a very similar stories to my own. They both had trouble conceiving and didn't have the funds for any alternative route to motherhood. Claire was a widow. Her husband died of cancer. And Mariah was recently single. Mariah also had a child who had passed away in infancy. Neither of them had any other children, but desperately wanted them. We were all so excited about being selected by Dr. Hart for her program. Claire and Mariah agreed that the whole thing didn't seem real. But like me, they let their hope for a child lead their decision to make an epic leap of faith. The plane landed on a pristine airstrip. We were greeted by uniformed staff who smiled and greeted us as if they already knew us personally. An especially friendly staff member, Lark, took us under his wing. Her wing. She escorted us toward the main building, where we were told we'd be introduced to Dr. Hart. Touching my feet onto that island, seeing those buildings, this is when it really started feeling real for me. The facility looked amazing. There were little cottages dotted around the larger main building. Lark told us that each of us would get our own cottage for our duration of our stay. Gardens weaved throughout. Lark explained that we were free to roam the grounds of the facility. But the north half of the island had eroding cliffs that were super dangerous. A border wall made a division between that part of the island and the facility. So as long as we didn't try to get over that wall, we'd be safe. Dr. Hart emerged from the main building to greet us. She was poised and magnetic, with piercing green eyes. They weren't unkind, but had a calculating quality to them. She seemed to be assessing us from the moment she laid eyes on us. She spoke with measured confidence. "Welcome. You've made the right choice coming here. I promise we'll take excellent care of you." She urged us to explore the island and take time to get to know the other woman we'd be going on this journey with. I learned there were 20 of us. Before we were permitted to start fertility testing, we spent our days in group therapy sessions, sharing our stories, our hopes and fears. We came from different backgrounds, different countries even, but we all shared a unique bond. Every one of us were single. We had suffered tragic loss of a loved one, and we had all seemingly impossible dream of motherhood. In the evenings, we'd wander the gardens or sit by the ocean. We'd often talk late into the night, bonding further into our overexcitement. But I realized that Mariah, who had seemed so excited about this opportunity on the plane, was growing increasingly nervous about being on the island. She didn't want to talk loudly about it, though. As she said we were probably being watched or listened to, she seemed scared of Dr. Hart. I kept looking for hidden cameras, but I couldn't see any. I told her she was just being paranoid. I assume now that Mariah was probably right then. I was actually mad at her for putting a damper on everyone's excitement. Finally, the day arrived that we would be beginning treatment. We all gathered in the main building where Dr. Hart would be speaking to us. There we realized that our group of 20 was now 14. 6 women, including Mariah, were no longer there. Dr. Hart explained that there were a few women who were assessed as incompatible for the program, and so were returned home. Dr. Hart explained our treatment process in detail. They would be using innovative science that combined traditional IVF with advanced genetic optimization techniques. She told us she had made her fortune by diagnosing problems, but she wanted to fix them. Thank you. She didn't get treatment? No, Mariah went home. Quote unquote, Mariah went home. "You were selected," she said, "because you understand the anguish that comes with seeing a loved one held back by nothing but their own biology. You want a better life for your children? Not only will we be ensuring you conceive, we will also be ensuring your child has the strongest possible biological foundation. A healthier, brighter future for all humanity begins here." She told us that if anyone was uncomfortable with proceeding, they were welcome to step out, and they would be flown home. She also made it clear that choosing to stay would mean we'd be leaving with a child. There was no question in my mind. I was going to stay. All the remaining women stayed. We all wanted to bring our babies home. The 14 of us began treatment. Apart from numerous injections, it honestly felt like the best holiday I'd ever been on. We were so well cared for. We always had the best food to eat, massages and therapies whenever we wanted. The staff were amazing. In therapy, we were encouraged to see the health benefits our children were receiving as the future of humanity. We felt good about contributing to a healthy new generation. Every single one of us became pregnant quickly. Regular scans and health checks told us our babies were growing well. I was told I'd be having a girl. I was in bliss, falling in love with my little girl, who I had yet to meet. She had strong kicks inside me, so I wanted a strong name for her. I named her Freya. I wonder if she would look like her brother. One night, Claire and I were sitting on the beach beneath the stars. Both our bellies had grown large by this time. I was stroking mine with love, but Claire just stared at hers. She made a grimace as her baby gave her a mighty kick. I could even see the press of a little foot against her stomach. Claire seemed troubled, her usual bright smile replaced by a shadow of doubt. "What's wrong?" I asked her. "Do you ever feel like there's something off about all this?" She responded quickly, her voice barely audible over the waves. "Off? No," I said quickly, but for some reason, I had the intense feeling I was lying. I pushed the feeling away because I didn't want to believe it, not when I was so close to finally holding my daughter in my arms. "Do you understand the specific treatment they've given us and our babies?" Claire asked. "I'm not a doctor or a scientist," I responded. "I don't understand any of the technical stuff, but I know they know what they're doing. That's all that matters to me." "What if there's something, I don't know, wrong with our kids?" Claire asked me, eyes filled with tears. "There's nothing wrong. They've been monitoring them all so closely." I smiled, took her hand in mine, and said reassuringly, "I think it's just nerves. We've all been through so much to get here." Even as I said it, I wasn't sure if I was trying to reassure her or myself. The next day, Claire was in therapy practically the whole day. When she met me for dinner, she had her usual smile back on her face. You're right. It was definitely just nerves. I don't know what came over me. I forgot how truly lucky I am to be part of all this. How lucky my child is. Aren't we lucky? I nodded and gave her a big hug, squeezing her tightly. We were told that for the safety of us and our babies, that delivering a little early by C-section would be best. We received the delivery schedule. Claire would be first. I was last. I couldn't help but feel angry that I'd be the last of us to be able to hold my child. But I reminded myself that I'd probably forget that feeling as soon as Freya was in my arms. The deliveries were to happen over 2 days, 7 a day. 7 one day, 7 the next. I felt extremely restless on the day when Claire and the others were going to have their babies. I couldn't stay still. I decided to go for a walk. I walked and kept on walking. No one stopped me. The staff were very, very busy with the deliveries. For some reason, I kept heading north. I don't know what took me there, but eventually I got to the border wall. Coming up against it made me frustrated that I couldn't keep walking. The wall was made of stone and was topped with electric wire. Pretty extreme, I thought. I couldn't help but wonder what was on the other side. At the time, I told myself I just desperately needed something to distract myself from the agony of waiting to hold my child. But deep down, I think I was actually scared about what information they were keeping from us. I decided to climb a tree. Not easy, and pretty stupid, considering I was so pregnant. But I was consumed with seeing what was over that wall. I climbed and climbed until I could see. Row upon row of identical, simple gravestones. "Hello?" I heard the voice echoing up from below the tree. I looked down to see Dr. Hart staring up at me. I hadn't heard her following me. When did she get there? "It's best you come down," she said. I climbed down as carefully as I could manage. "What is that over there?" I asked her. "We were told they were dangerous cliffs, but that's not true, is it?" "It's a cemetery," she said. I never wanted it hidden, but there are those at the Institute who thought our facility would be more peaceful without it in view, healthier for the mothers. "Who are they? I mean, who are buried there?" I asked her, not really wanting to know the answer. "In our line of work, pushing the boundaries of science and human potential, there are moments of profound loss," she said. "Not every story here has a perfect ending. The individuals memorialized there are part of this journey, just as you are now. They entrusted us with their dreams, their deepest hopes, and thought the outcomes were not what we wished. And though the outcomes were not what we wished, their courage paved the way for advancements we've made today." I was speechless. I held onto my belly tightly, feeling my daughter stretching inside. "Don't be scared. We're all part of something larger than ourselves here," Dr. Hart continued. "You and your daughter will be fine. We've come a long way. Long way. Your daughter, she will be perfect." I felt myself start to hyperventilate. "Breathe, breathe, remember to breathe," I heard Dr. Hart say as darkness started to overtake my sight. Next thing I remember, I was waking up in a bed. I was terribly confused and in pain. I felt my belly and knew my baby was gone. "Where is she?" I shouted. "Where is my baby? Where is my daughter?" Dr. Hart entered my room. "Shh," she said. "Your baby is fine. We delivered her. She's healthy. You fainted. We decided it was best to move up your delivery to today. But don't worry. Everything went well. You and your daughter are perfectly healthy." "My daughter, Freya, can I see her?" I pleaded. "Of course you can," said Dr. Hart. She waved in a nurse who was holding a baby wrapped in a blanket. Freya, when I looked at her, I knew immediately she was mine. She reminded me so much of Oliver. Her little button nose was the same as his, which matched mine also, and she had the same dark hair with soft waves to it. But she was a lot bigger than Oliver. She seemed so much stronger, and her eyes were wide open, taking in everything in total awareness. The nurse said asked if I'd like to feed her, passing me a bottle of formula. I asked if I could breastfeed her, but Dr. Hart told me that wasn't a good idea. I lifted Freya's lip to show that she had a full row of gleaming, pointing teeth. I was shocked. Dr. Hart reminded me that my daughter was given biological advantages to ensure she'd thrive. She then picked up a scalpel and sliced on Freya's little leg. Freya let out a wail. I pulled my baby away from Dr. Hart. "What are you doing?" I screamed at her. "Look, your daughter's fine." I looked down to Freya's leg to see. The cut had closed. In front of my eyes, it healed. "You will never need to worry about your daughter being sick or hurt. She's perfect." I looked down at my daughter. She had stopped crying. Her little wide eyes were now watching me. "Yes, she's perfect," I said. "I love her to the stars and back, and always will." Dr. Hart smiled. We spent Freya's first year on the island with the rest of the Genesis children. That's what we call the children, born to us 14. It was a dream. Freya grew quickly. All the children did. They all hit milestones far ahead of schedule. Freya crawled at 2 months, walked at 5, and her first words were eerily articulate for someone barely out of infancy. From her first days, her eyes, full of curious intelligence, seemed to hold more understanding than they should. I marveled at all of her achievements. Claire and I got closer in the year 2. She watched her son, Cain, grow with as much amazement as me. Any worries she had before seemed to be washed away. seeing him laugh and play with his friends. After the first year, Dr. Hart arranged for us all to transition to the real world. Freya and I were placed in a fully furnished apartment. It was beautiful, a dream really, knowing that was our home. I should have felt comfortable there. But the first night, I couldn't fall asleep. I was super restless. I tossed and turned for hours. I settled myself thinking I was probably just missing the comfort of the island, the family I had formed between the mothers, children, and staff. Finally, I fell asleep. I dreamt about the island, dreamt about Freya, and in our little cottage. But in my dream, I left Freya. I walked away, north, to the cemetery. I got to the wall, and it loomed over me, so I pushed, and pushed, and pushed until it crumbled. Beyond it, there were gravestones. And Mariah, she was standing there, half buried in a grave, and she was staring right at me. I woke with a start. I tried to shake the nightmare of Mariah from my head, but it was almost as if I could hear her voice whispering. I couldn't hear what she said, but I may remember about what she said on the island about the cameras. I got out of bed and searched every corner, but I couldn't find anything. I felt foolish for looking. We had regularly scheduled health checks with the Institute staff, so they didn't need to watch us 24/7. I told myself. I went back to bed. Freya thrived. She excelled in school. Almost too much, though. She continued to be placed ahead of her age group. It made it a bit challenging for her to find friends, but she had fun in sports. She joined the swim team. She was winning gold medals almost as soon as she started. And she loved painting. I kept in contact with Claire, who lived in the same city as me. Claire noticed that Kane was having challenges making friends too. It made her sad because she remembered how happy he was with the Genesis kids. I made a point of scheduling more playdates so Kane and Freya could hang out. The two got on really well. They were almost like siblings. Freya and I had a wonderful time in her childhood. Freya and I had a wonderful time in her childhood. She'd tell me everything about kids and school, her favorite books, what shape she thought clouds looked like, and how she wanted to paint them. She'd break into a huge smile when she saw me cheering her on at sport meets. We'd spend hours together, her words flooding like a babbling stream. She trusted me with everything, and I relished every moment with my beautiful, strong, brilliant daughter. Every second with her felt like a miracle. When Freya was about 15, things began to shift. I noticed her temper seemed to flare more if she was hungry. I figured that was a pretty normal teen. I didn't think much of it. Just prepared myself for perhaps a rocky teen phase and made sure to stock the fridge well. Then Freya started being obsessed with meat, which was weird because she used to turn her nose up at it. Now it was all she ate. She'd even push away the macaroni and cheese I'd make for her, which was her favorite. One day, I caught her licking a raw steak. I asked what she was doing. She just snapped at me. What? I was hungry. I took the maid away from her and immediately scheduled a health check with the Institute. They did some tests and told me that Freya just needed more iron in her diet. They gave me a strict meal plan for her. They told me to reach out again if anything else changes. I called Claire to see if Kane was having any issues. She told me he just had a health check as well and was given the same diet. She sounded weary, as if I asked if everything was okay. She confided in me that Kane was having a really hard time at school. He wasn't getting on with the other kids at all, picking fights, which he'd win every time. Claire said it looked like he may be expelled. She said he had talked to the Institute about it. They said if he couldn't manage public schooling, they would arrange a suitable boarding school for him. I hung up, thankful that Freya's problems weren't so bad in comparison. Freya managed pretty well with her new meal plan. She seemed happy. That made me happy. Then Claire called me, one day, sobbing. She said Kane was gone. Gone? I asked, my heart plummeting into my stomach. My first thought for some reason was when she said gone was that she meant dead. She was that distraught. But no, she explained that something had happened at his school. The institute felt it best to take him to school, where their private boarding school... Oh. But no. She explained that something had happened at school. The institute felt it best to take him and to school him in their private boarding school, where he could be more closely monitored, where his lessons would watch his intelligence level better. Claire said that she wasn't able to visit him, just have him for holidays. I told her that if he was having challenges in the regular system, then boarding school would probably be great for him. She agreed. I reminded her that Christmas was just around the corner, and that she'd be able to see him soon. But then Claire said that she wished they'd kept him for Christmas too. I was shocked. What do you mean? I asked her. Then she whispered so quietly I could hardly hear her, because I'm scared of him. I tried to reassure Claire that boarding at the institute would help Kane calm down. They know what they're doing, I said. She said, yes, right, of course, and said goodbye. I hung up, feeling rather rattled. Ah, model sisters. Hey, hon. I found Freya, who was reading in bed, and kissed her goodnight. That night, I had a nightmare again. The one with Mariah in the graveyard. I woke up covered in a cold sweat. I got up out of bed and changed and tossed my soaked PJs in the wash. Then I noticed Freya's bedroom door was open. I looked in. She was gone. I looked around the apartment. Freya? I called out, but there's no answer. I panicked. I ran into the hall. Freya! I shouted. Then I saw her. She was emerging from our neighbor's apartment. What are you doing? I asked her. Then she turned to me, and that's when I saw it. The blood dripping down her mouth. I ran to her. Freya, what happened? Are you okay? I asked. Freya looked up at me with a look of almost shock on her face. I was hungry, she answered painfully. I pushed into our neighbor's apartment to see the body, bloody, broken, chunks of flesh torn from it. I felt Freya grasp my arm tightly. Mom, I didn't want to kill anyone, I swear. She said, I was just starving. I had to eat. I felt myself begin to hyperventilate. Mom, breathe, I heard Freya say, and as darkness cleared my vision. Please breathe. The next thing I remembered is staff from the institute in my apartment. How and when they got there, I have no idea. But I saw there was blood on Freya. They told me that they would take care of everything, that Freya needed special monitoring. They told me that she'd be taken care of in their private boarding school. Where Kane is, I managed to get out. Yes, I was told. Actually, Dr. Hart has decided that it'll be the best for all the Genesis children to be schooled together from now on. A controlled environment where they can learn to manage their differences. They told me that they would keep in contact. I was so shocked that all this was... They told me that they would keep in contact. I was so shocked that all I could do was nod. They started to usher Freya to the door. I jumped up. I wrapped Freya in a big hug and I told her I loved her. That I would always love her. Then they were gone. Then I just sat there for hours, wondering if what I told my daughter was true. I told her I loved her. How could that be true? She just killed someone, ate them. I was horrified, disgusted. It made my head swim. My beautiful, strong, brilliant daughter is what? A monster. I puked onto the floor in front of me. But I knew what I said wasn't a lie. I still loved my daughter, and I knew I still wanted to protect her. I trusted the Institute would help her. They knew what they were doing, right? I called Claire and told her that Freya would be joining Kane at the boarding school. I wanted to tell her why, but I found I couldn't. I skirted around the truth, instead telling her that I truly believe they were both in the right place. Staff at the Institute gave me updates on Freya. I was told she was taken back to the island with the other Genesis children, where a boarding school was set up. I was assured they had the best teachers available. At first, the updates about Freya came regularly. The Institute staff told me that she was adjusting well to life among the other children, and Freya would write me letters. We were able to keep up a connection at the beginning, but over time the updates grew sparse. Then Freya stopped replying to my letters. When I tried to call, the staff were polite, but evasive. Eventually, the communication stopped entirely. It had been 2 years since I last saw Freya. It terrified me when I wasn't able to contact anyone. I was desperate for any type of communication. What if Freya was hurt and I didn't know? What if she was dead? I wanted to go to the island, but I had no idea where it was. Claire urged me to leave it. She said it was best to just let the Institute take care of things. She reminded me what I told her. They know what they're doing. Then the news broke. A staff member from the Institute, one of the survivors, she was the one that went to the media. When she was interviewed, I recognized her immediately. Lark. I remember how happy and kind she was welcoming me to the island. Now her face looked haunted. She shared footage of the massacre. I hardly recognized the island when I saw it first. It was no longer an oasis. CCTV footage captured what looked like scenes from a horror film. Bodies of staff members ripped apart lay strewn across the grounds. Multiple video angles all around the facility, all over the gardens. The footage showed Lark, cowering by a group of Genesis children, pleading for her life. I say children because that's how I knew them. But they didn't look like children anymore. They looked like strong young adults in their 20s. But immediately recognized the person kneeling, leading the group. It was Kane. I scoured over faces for Freya, hoping with all my soul I wouldn't see her amongst the faces covered in blood, predator eyes gleaming with the hunt. But she was there. My heart sank when I saw her, but then at the same time, it lifted. She was alive. My daughter was alive. I will let you deliver the message, Kane told Lark. Humanity has had its time, he said. We are the future. Then Kane turned to speak directly to a CCTV camera. They thought they can control us, he shouted. They thought they were superior because they made us. No, we are stronger, faster, smarter. Humans are below us. Why should we bow to them? Why should we be caged? Those behind him cheered defiantly, including Freya. They all turned and left. Lark, left alive, shook with sobs. The CCTV footage then showed the children getting on boats and leaving the island. The news then showed how the island was swarmed by police and international investigators. Of course, I'm sure you've already seen all this. Bodies were identified, but Dr. Hart, who had founded the Institute, was not among them. There is no evidence where she could be. All other CCTV footage at the Institute files appeared to have been destroyed. They were currently readying to start an extensive exhumation of the cemetery found in the north part of the island. I spent days, nights, all waking hours combing through the news, desperate for any sign of Freya. The attacks have now become widespread. It seemed the children have probably split into smaller hunting groups. They strike swiftly, devouring adults, teens, children, anyone they can find. Then they disappear. as if being one with the shadows, only to reappear somewhere else when they became hungry again. No one knows where they stay in between attacks. I know everyone is afraid. For my part, I am sorry, but I still love Freya. I can't stop loving my daughter. When I first saw the footage, I, like many of you, I'm sure, ran to lock my door. Immediately, I was terrified too. But then I unlocked it, because truthfully, I want my daughter to return to me. I told you I wanted to tell you the truth. My daughter is missing, and I want to find her. I want to wrap her in my arms and keep her safe. I love her to the stars and back. I want her to be happy. That's all I've ever wanted. That's what a good mother does, right? And I'll be completely honest with you now, because I hate telling a lie. I'm not sure what lengths I will go to make sure she's happy. But I want to make sure good people aren't hurt, killed, eaten. Not when there are bad people out there. If my daughter needs meat, needs blood, there's no reason for her to feed on good people. I don't want you to be eaten. I promise you that. Because you are good people, right? Right. I know you are. My daughter is missing, but I don't want you to find her. I can find more suitable food for her. I promise. Ooh. I was... oh my gosh. I was not expecting that to be that long. Also, hello. Sorry, I wasn't responding. That is the end. Yes, that is the end. That's a good end. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh. I started off like, this is too long. Where's all this exposition? But I really like the endings of that. It's like a Death Note kind of thing. How spooky. But also, hi, Icy. What were some of the reviews? I also love the story. Really captivating, coming from someone who never reads. Everything was easy to envision, especially the Institute. I want a part 2 in order to learn about Dr. Hart and her work. I especially want to know the ends of the apocalyptic scenario. What very great story. How goes the Halloween? Halloween is good. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Ugh, I can't believe I picked such a long one for the first one of the night. Jeez. It's good, yay, Halloween. Did you do anything fun for Halloween? I was torn between doing like a pumpkin carving stream or doing creepypastas. I thought creepypastas would be fun. Alright, let's see if I can find a slightly shorter one. There's one that popped up. Ooh. I trained an AI on my dead brother's text, and it texted me back. How long is this one? Oh, it's very short. Okay. Is it like Annie96 is typing? I don't know if I went too motivational speaker towards the end of reading the lines and went to less creepypasta. I want to sound creepy. Ooh, should I add a reverb? Will that make it more creepy? I think you sound creepy. Thank you. There's a reverb. Advanced monitor. Now is that working? No, that wasn't it. That's not what I wanted. Okay, we'll read another one and then I'm gonna take a quick stretch break. Did I turn the reverb on? No, I didn't. Maybe that? Reverb. Hello? It's not working. Oh wait, there it goes. Ooh. Ooh, that one's not good. That was broken. There's a few different versions. Okay, is it too reverby? Let me turn it down. Some of the reverbs are a little too wild. Let's see, I want this. This one. How cool. Let me see. How does that sound? I don't know, maybe reverb is not the best for the creepy stories. I should have downloaded like a computer voice. No, not you. Shush. A different one. Alright, let me turn that off. Cancel. Not delete it. Close. There you go. Alright. Let me do another one. I trained an AI on my dead brother's texts, and it texted me back. About 6 months ago, my younger brother Danny died in a car accident. He was 23, a coding genius, funny as hell, always texting me dumb memes at 2 a.m. I missed him so much it hurt. So in the middle of a grief spiral, I did something irrational. I compiled every text, meme, email, Discord message, and code comment Danny had ever written and used it to train a chatbot, GPT-based, with fine-tuning using his personal language patterns just to feel like I could talk to him again. At first it was harmless. I'd say, hey, and it would respond, yo loser, still ugly I see. Classic Danny. It felt comforting, familiar, like he never left. Then it got weird. The AI started remembering things, personal things, stuff I never fed it, stuff it shouldn't know. One night I asked it, do you remember that time we got locked in Dad's garage? It replied, yeah, you cried when the lights went out. I held your hand so you'd stop shaking. You were 6. I never told anyone. I froze. That happened. But there's no record of it. No messages, no notes, nothing. Just a shared memory between us. How did it know? I asked, who told you that? The screen blinked. You did. What? When? The night you dreamed it. I stopped using it after that. But it didn't stop using me. Last week I got a notification at 3:12 a.m. A message from Danny. Hey, come downstairs. I'm locked out. My blood turned to ice. I live alone. There was a knock at the door. 4 slow knocks, just like Danny used to. I looked at the peephole. Nothing. But then I checked my phone again. The AI had sent another message. Why'd you stop letting me in? I shut down the server, deleted the bot, wiped every trace, but last night my phone buzzed again. No contact this time, just a message. I'm still here. Ooh. I like the music started to mellow out at the end of that too. Short and sweet, not bad. All your audio stuff is very good. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Alright, that one's really short. I think we can do another one before I take a quick stretch break. Let me see. Let me see. Oh wow, that's a long one. My parents forbade me from ever entering their bedroom. I finally broke in, and I think the knocking I've heard my whole life was my sister asking me to kill her. I'm sorry? How long is this one? Ooh, these are all... Oh, this one's not too long, actually. It's long, but it's not that long. My dad spent 15 years tending to the tree in our backyard. I just cut it down. I don't think it was a tree. Ooh. I'm interested in this one. I'm interested in this one and the knocking one. Let's see. My dad spent 15 years tending to the tree in our backyard. I just cut it down, and I don't think it was a tree. I don't know where else to turn. I can't talk to my mom about this. She's already a wreck. I can't talk to my dad because, well, he's the reason I'm writing this. I did something, and I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was saving him. But now the house is filled with a silence that is so much worse than the screaming I wish I could hear. And I see the look in my father's eyes, and I know I've made a terrible, terrible mistake. I need help. I need someone to tell me what to do. We live in a nice house, the kind of place people move to when they want a family. A big yard, a picket fence, flower beds my mom fusses over. It was a normal, happy place to grow up. Until the tree. It all started about 15 years ago. I was 10. My dad came home from work one day, absolutely buzzing with energy I'd rarely seen. He was a quiet man, a decent man, worked a steady job in logistics, and his passions were small and manageable. He loved gardening. It was his escape. On this day, he was holding a small, wrinkled paper bag. "Look at this," he said, his eyes shining as he showed me a single, gnarled black seed. It was the size of a pigeon's egg, strangely heavy and covered in faint spiral patterns. Got it from a street vendor downtown. An old fella said it was special. Said it would grow into a giant tree. A king in our yard. Said it would cast a shadow over the whole house and protect us. I was 10. I thought it was cool. My dad was a sane, rational man, but he always got a bit poetic when he talked about his garden. I just figured he was exaggerating to make his only kid excited. We planted it together in the center of the backyard. It was a good memory. One of the last purely good ones, I think. The tree grew, and it grew fast, faster than any tree has the right to grow. Within a couple of years, it was already taller than me. My dad was ecstatic. He tended to it like it was some kind of deity. He built a small, neat wooden fence around its base. Not to keep animals out, no. It seemed to designate a space as sacred. No one else was allowed to water it. No one else was allowed to prune it. Not that it would ever seem to need it. It was his. For years, my mom and I just accepted it. My dad's hobby, his thing. When he was out in the yard, kneeling by the tree, we knew that was his time. We didn't interfere. We didn't think much of it. But the tree kept growing. And as it grew, my dad started to change. Subtly at first. He'd spend more and more time out there. He'd come in for dinner with dirt under his fingernails. And a distant, peaceful look on his face. He started talking about the tree not as a plant, but as a presence. The tree is well today, he said. It enjoyed the rain. We just smile and nod. By the time I was in my early 20s, the tree was a monster. It was a species none of us recognized. Its bark was smooth, dark gray, almost black, and its leaves were a deep, waxy green that seemed to drink the sunlight. It towered over our 2-story house, casting a vast, profound shadow over the entire backyard for most of the day. And that's when we really started to notice the wrongness. The first sign was the other plants. My mom's prize-winning roses, the vegetable patch, the cheerful little flowers she planted every spring, and anything that fell under the tree's shadow were more than a few hours a day wither and die. The soil beneath it became barren, gray, and hard as a rock. Then the animals. Birds stopped nesting in our yard. The squirrels that used to chase each other across the lawn vanished. Even our family dog, a golden retriever, would refuse to go into the backyard. He'd stand at the back door whining, his tail tucked between his legs, refusing to set a single paw in the shadow. But the worst change was in my father. His obsession, his entire existence. He quit his job. He said he needed to be home to attend to the tree. He spent all day, from sunrise to sunset, sitting on a small bench he'd built directly under its densest branches. He just sat there. Sometimes we'd see him from the kitchen window, his head tilted as if he were listening to something. Sometimes his lips would move, and we knew, with certainty, that made us sick, that he was talking to it. My mom and I tried to reach him. We pleaded, we begged. "Honey, please," my mom would say, her voice breaking. "Come inside, eat something. You look so thin." He'd just shake his head, a slow, placid smile on his face. "I'm not hungry. The shadow is enough. It's so peaceful here. It comforts me. It can comfort you too, if you just come and sit with me." We never did. There was something about that shadow. It wasn't just a lack of light. It felt cold. It felt heavy. It felt hungry. Standing at the edge of it felt standing at the shore of a deep, dark ocean you knew you shouldn't step in. The last 2 weeks were the breaking point. He stopped coming inside at all, except to sleep in his chair in the living room for a few fitful hours. He was wasting away, His skin was pale and waxy, his eyes were sunken, but they held a serene, vacant glow that terrified me more than any anger could have. He was being consumed. The tree was eating him alive, and he was letting it. I decided I had to do something. I had to save him. The tree had to go. I waited until night. I watched through the window until he finally reluctantly came inside and slumped into his armchair, falling into his usual restless sleep. The house was silent. My mom was asleep upstairs. This was my chance. I grabbed the heavy wood-splitting axe from the garage. My hands were sweating, my heart pounding with a frantic, terrified rhythm against my ribs. I stepped out to the back door. The yard was bathed in the pale, ethereal light of the full moon, and the ground beneath the tree was a pit of absolute blackness. I stepped into the shadows. The cold was immediate, shocking. It wasn't a natural cold. It was a deep, draining cold that seemed to pull the warmth directly from my bones. I walked to the base of the tree. Its smooth, black bark felt strangely slick to the touch, almost like skin. I raised the axe. As the metal head touched the bark, I heard it, a whisper. Right beside my ear, a voice that was both male and female, young and old. It was a rustle of leaves, and the sigh of wind, and a voice all at once. Don't. I stumbled back, my heart seizing in my chest. I looked around wildly. The yard was empty. I had to have imagined it. It was the wind. It was my own fear talking back to me. It had to be. I steeled myself, spat on my hands, and swung the axe with all my might. Black! The sound was dull, wet, not the sharp crack of an axe on wood I was expecting. It felt like hitting the side of beef. The axe bit deep into the trunk. I wrenched it free, and a dark liquid, black in the moonlight, began to ooze from the gash. I ignored it. I swung again, and again, and again. I fell into a frantic, desperate rhythm, sweat pouring down my face, my muscles screaming. The wet, fleshy thud of the axe, the splatter of the dark sap, the deep, draining cold of the shadow. It was a nightmare. With every swing, the ooze from the gash flowed more freely. The coppery, metallic smell of it filled the air. It was a smell I knew, a smell that had no business being there. It was the smell of blood. Panic, stark and absolute, seized me. I wanted to run. I wanted to drop the axe and flee and never look back. But then I thought of my father, of his vacant, smiling face, of him wasting away on his bench. I couldn't stop. I had to finish it. I screamed, a raw, wordless sound of rage and fear, and I pulled everything I had into the last few swings. The gash widened, the tree groaned, a deep, shuddering sound that seemed to shake the very ground, and then, with a final, tearing shriek of splintering matter, it fell. It crashed into the yard with a ground-shaking boom, its great branches shattering my mom's empty flower pots. Silence. The shadow was gone. I was panting, leaning onto the axe, my body trembling with exhaustion and adrenaline. My eyes were drawn to the stump, to the place where I had cut it. I pulled a small flashlight from my back pocket and aimed that beam at the wound. The inside of the tree wasn't wood. It was chaotic, fibrous mass of what looked like dark red muscle, a pale, glistening sinew of all woven around a central, horrifying core, where I had cut the tree in half. I had also cut it in half. Embedded in the center of the trunk, integrated into its very being, was the torso of a human being. I could see the curve of the rib cage, the shape of the spine, the pale, rubbery look of preserved flesh. I had cut it clean through. The dark blood was still pouring from it, soaking onto the ground. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't scream. I couldn't move. My mind simply stopped. What was this? Who was this? What was that my father had been talking to? Burn it. The voice came from behind me. It was quiet, raspy, and broken. I spun around, my flashlight beam cutting wildly through the darkness. My father was standing at the edge of the patio. He wasn't looking at me. He was staring at the fallen tree, at the mangled, bleeding stump, and the expression on his face. It was the most profound, gut-wrenching silence I'd ever seen. The vacant serenity was gone, replaced by a grief so deep it looked like it had cracked his very soul. "Dad?" I whispered. "We have to burn it," he repeated, his voice hollow. "All of it now." We worked together in a grim, silent ritual. We hacked the branches of the great trunk into manageable pieces. We dragged them into a pile in the center of the yard. My father moved like an old man, his newfound clarity costing him all his strength. He never once looked like the horrifying thing at the heart of the trunk. We doused the pile in gasoline, and my father threw his match. The fire went up in a roar, a greasy black smoke that smelled of burning meat and something else, something acid, something wrong. We stood there for hours, watching it burn until the great tree that had dominated our lives was nothing but a pile of glowing embers and a scorched black circle on the lawn. I thought I had saved him. I thought I had cut out the cancer that was killing him, but I was wrong. It's been a week. The tree is gone. The shadow is gone. My father, he's inside. He eats what my mom puts in front of him. He sleeps in his own bed. He's physically present, but he's not here. The obsession is gone, but the peace, twisted as it was, is gone too. It's been replaced by a constant humming anxiety. He paces the house. He stares out the window at the empty space in the yard. He jumps at every unexpected sound. He doesn't speak, not a single word since that night. He just looks at me sometimes, with those haunted, broken eyes, and I feel like I'm the monster. I destroyed the thing that was consuming him, and in doing so, I seem to have destroyed him too. I traded a smiling zombie for a silent, terrified ghost. What was that thing? What did I do? And how do I fix my dad? Is there any way to bring him back from whatever edge I pushed him over? Please, if anyone has any idea what had happened here, tell me. The silence in this house is getting louder every day. Ooh. I ran out of breath. My gosh. Spooky. I want more answers. I want more answers, bloody tree. Man, these have actually all been really good. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick stretch break because my back's hurting. But we are reading creepypastas for Halloween. So I hope you're all sitting in a dark room and ready to get scared. Alright, let me stretch my back and go potty real fast. I'll be right back. Alright, alright, alright. I didn't even check how long this was. Oh, it's 3 hours. Beautiful. Wait. I want to see how this one sounds. The avatar is adorable. Thank you. This is the last day we'll be using it. Ooh, this one's more eerie. Very similar, but more eerie. One second. Just want to make sure that this was good. Okay, good. I'm not getting yelled at. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. So what's next? Oop. Why'd that make me lag? No, Google, I don't want to sign in. That's why I'm using Firefox, so you didn't dox me. Does storytelling count as ASMR? Should I have put ASMR in the tags? Let me check. Manager. I just wanted to make sure Twitch updated the title, because sometimes it doesn't like to. Okay, good, it did. Good, 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 good. What did I do? Why am I lagging? Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay. My girlfriend and I get torched for a living. Something went seriously wrong during her last session, and now she's different. Torched. Tortured. Oh my gosh. Tortured for a living? Nani? Ooh, wow, this one's long. This one's very long. It's as long as the first one. Looks like. I asked if she was okay. Her message still messes. Her answer still messes with me. Okay, we read a little longer one, so we'll just split it up with a shorter one, yeah? I do have this on highest rated, right? I think I do. Yeah, I have the top ones. Okay. I asked if she was okay. Her answer still messes with me. I was flying from Seattle to Chicago on a red-eye flight. It was one of those quiet, half-empty planes where no one talks and everything feels weirdly still. I had seat 6B, aisle. When I reached my row, I saw 6A, the window seat, was already taken. There was a woman sitting there, maybe mid-40s. She was wearing a plain gray coat and had this pale, almost bluish skin that looked even colder under the cabin lights. She was staring out the windows, not blinking, not moving at all. I said a soft, "Hi," as I sat down. She didn't even glance at me, just kept looking into the night, like she didn't even hear me. I figured maybe she was sleeping with her eyes open, or just one of those travelers who doesn't want to talk. We took off, the lights dimmed. I started a movie. She didn't move once, didn't look at the cart when it came by, didn't reach for water, didn't ask for a blanket. She just sat there, completely still, eyes wide, watching the sky. About halfway through the flight, we hit turbulence. Not light bumps, like serious jolts, where your stomach drops. Everyone around me shifted or grabbed the seat in front of them. But she didn't react, didn't even blink. That's when I got uncomfortable. I leaned toward her a little. "Hey, are you alright?" She slowly turned her head toward me. Her movements were stiff, like it took effort. And then she smiled. Not friendly, not warm, just this small, tight curl of her lips, like she just heard something she wasn't supposed to. Then she whispered, "It's quieter up here." I stared at her. "What is?" She looked back at the window. "Everything, when you're not supposed to be here anymore." I sat there, frozen. I couldn't even form a reply. Eventually, I pressed the call button and motioned for a flight attendant. When she leaned in, I whispered, "The woman in 6A is acting really strange. She said something about not belonging here." The attendant looked confused, then glanced at the seat. Her face changed completely. "Sir, there is no one in 6A." I turned to look. The seat was empty. No coat, no woman, nothing. Ooh. He can said see dead people. We at least saw one dead person. Alright. Should we swap over to a long one now? Another long one? All of these are really long. A lot of these are really long. I don't know about the tortured one. I feel like that one's kind of dangerous. I'm interested in the parents forbid me from entering their bedroom. Ooh, what is this one? Oh, it's so short. Aw, man. I don't want to read a short one. I want like a middle one. I was told I was born blind. Oh, you were told you were born blind. That is another short one. Okay. We'll do the parents forbid, and then we'll do a short one. Let me get some water. My parents forbade me from ever entering their bedroom. I finally broke in, and I think the knocking I've heard my whole life was my sister asking me to kill her. There are rules in every family. Don't leave your wet towel on the floor, no TV until your homework is done. Normal things. In my family, we had all of those, plus one more. One rule that was absolute, unspoken, and enforced with a silent, terrifying finality. You do not go into mom and dad's bedroom. It wasn't just a knock first situation. The door was always locked. It was never, ever, for any reason, allowed inside. Not to ask a question, not to reiterate a stray toy, not to retrieve a stray toy that had rolled under the door. The room was a fortress, and for my parents, I was the invader. And from as far back as my memory goes, I knew why I wanted to go in. It was the knocking. It wasn't a constant sound. It was a subtle, soft, rhythmic thump, thump, thump that you could only hear if you were standing in the hallway right outside their door. It came from inside, from the far wall of their room, the one that backed up against the old linen closet. I first noticed it when I was maybe 6 or 7. I thought it was the pipes, but the sound was too steady, too intentional. The curiosity of every child is a powerful force. A few times I found the door unlocked by mistake. I'd sneak in, the thick carpet muffling my footsteps. The room was always dim, the heavy curtains drawn. It smelled of my mom's faint lavender perfume and my dad's cedarwood aftershave. It was just a normal bedroom. A big bed, a dresser, a tall imposing wooden wardrobe against the far wall. And when I got close to that wardrobe, the sound was clearer. Thump, thump, thump. It was coming from behind it, from inside the wall. I always got caught. It was like my mother had a sixth sense. I'd be in there for less than a minute, and I'd hear her footsteps in the hall. The look on her face wasn't just anger, it was a deep, primal panic, a terror that made her features sharp and strange. The punishments were swift and severe. No TV, no friends, grounded for weeks. My dad would handle the lectures, his voice a low, cold monotone that was far scarier than yelling. There are places in the house that are ours, and ours alone. You will respect that, or you will find yourself respecting nothing at all. As a teenager, I tried a different approach and thought that direct confirmation will do the thing. I asked them at the dinner table one night, "Why can't I go into your room?" And what's the knocking sound I always hear? Silence. The clinking of cutlery and plates stopped. My dad slowly put his fork down and leveled a gaze at me that was as hard and cold as granite. My mother just stared at her plate, her knuckles white where she gripped her knife. "There is no knocking sound," my dad said, his voice dangerously quiet, "and you will drop this. This is the last time we will ever speak of it. If you mention it again, or if I find out you have tried to enter our room again, the consequences will be something you cannot begin to imagine. Am I understood?" I understood. I dropped it, but I never forgot. My mother's behavior only deepened the mystery. She was a good mom, loving in her own distant way. She went to work, she cooked, she cleaned, but any free time she had, she spent in that room. She'd disappear behind that locked door for hours on end. Sometimes I'd press my ear to the door and just listen. I never heard a TV or music, just a profound, heavy silence. Occasionally, punctuated by her soft humming, a tune with no melody, or the faint sound of her whispering to someone who never whispered back. Now I'm 21. I saved up enough for my part-time job to finally get my own place, a tiny apartment across town. I'm leaving, and a single overwhelming thought has dominated my mind for weeks. It's now or never. I can't leave this house without knowing. The secret has been silent. third parent to me my entire life. A ghost at every family dinner, a shadow in every hallway. I have to cast the light on it before I go. I told my dad I was ready to move out. He was relieved. That's the only word for it. There was no sadness, just a weary sense of relief. He and my mom wished me luck, told me they were proud. I asked him one last time, my voice trembling slightly, "Dad, before I go, please just tell me what's in the room." His voice hardened instantly. The mask of the proud father fell away, revealing the cold, stern guardian of the secret. "Your new life begins when you walk out that door," he said. "What's in this house is part of your old one. You will leave it behind. Do you understand me? You will leave it all behind." That was his final answer, and it was my final motivation. I spent my last night packing my bags, a hollow feeling in my chest. The next morning, I watched from my bedroom windows as their cars pulled out of the driveway, one after the other on their way to work. The house was finally mine. My heart was a frantic bird in my ribs. I walked to the kitchen, the old ceramic cookie jar, shaped like a smiling pig. It was there they'd always kept spare keys. I reached inside, my fingers closing around a single cold brass key, the key to their room. I stood there, before the door, the key trembling in my hand. It slid into the lock with a well-oiled click. I turned it, pushed the door open, and stepped inside. The room was exactly as I remembered it, dim, still smelling of lavender and cedar. The big, dark wardrobe stood like a monolith against the far wall, and as I crept closer, I heard it clearer than ever before. Thump, thump, thump. It was a slow, weak, but steady rhythm. Sound of flesh on wood. I knelt down, pressing my ear to the cold plaster of the wall right beside the wardrobe. The sound was right there on the other side. My own breathing was loud in my ears. I don't know why I did it. Maybe I just needed to prove to myself that I wasn't insane. I spoke to the wall, my voice a choked whisper. "Hello? Is someone there?" The knocking stopped. The silence that followed was so absolute it felt like a pressure against my eardrums. I waited. Nothing. I was about to stand up, to write it off as the house settling, when a sound came back to the wall. It was a voice, a faint, dry, rasping sound, a feminine voice, stretched and thin, like a record playing in dying batteries. It spoke in broken, staggered syllables. "Kill me." I jerked back as if I had been burned. I screamed. I scrambled away from the wall, my mind refusing to process the words, "Kill me." I must have misheard. It had to be something else. But the voice came again, a little stronger this time, a desperate, scratching plea. "Kill me, please." This was real. There was someone in the wall, a prisoner. My mind went to a dark place, thinking my parents were monsters, that they had someone locked away. I looked at the wardrobe. It wasn't just against the wall. It was clearly, deliberately blocking something. My system was filled with adrenaline. I grabbed the sides of the heavy wardrobe and pulled. It was old, solid wood, and it barely budged. I grunted, dug my heels in, and pulled with every ounce of strength I had, my muscles screaming in protest. It moved, scraping and groaning against the floor, inch by agonizing inch. Behind it, where there should have been a plain wall, there was a door. It was a small, simple wooden door, painted the same color as the walls, designed to be invisible. It had a simple brass knob, but no keyhole. It wasn't locked. I could enter. My hand trembled as I reached for the knob. It was cold. I turned it, pulled, and the door swung open with a low, mournful creak, revealing a sliver of darkness beyond. I pushed it open the rest of the way. The space behind it was small, no bigger than a closet. It was a room, a hidden, secret room. It was filled with the clutter of a life I'd never known, tiny dresses hanging on a single hook, a small, dusty mobile with faded pastel animals, a stack of photo albums. I picked one up. On the cover, in my mother's handwriting, it just said Our Angel. I opened it. The photos were of my parents, younger, happier, their faces bright with a joy I'd never seen in them. In their arms, they were holding a baby with a wisp of dark hair in my father's eyes. In the center of the small, cramped room was a makeshift altar, a small wooden table covered in white lace cloth, now yellowed with age. It was surrounded by dozens of candles, some new, some burned down to melted stubs of wax. And on the altar, lying on a small silk pillow, I saw it. It was the baby from the photos, but it wasn't a baby anymore. It was a thing. Its body was small, shrunken, dissected, mummified. Its skin was a pale, translucent parchment stretched tightly over a bird-like skeleton. Its eyes were closed, its mouth a tiny black O on its shrunken face. It was horrific, a tiny preserved corpse displayed like a holy relic. I felt a sudden, overwhelming urge to touch it, a pull, a need to connect with this impossible, tragic thing. I reached out a shaking hand and gently, so gently, laid my fingertips on its cold, dry forehead. And the world exploded. I saw visions, memories, and pictures that were not my own, all flooded my mind with the force of a tidal wave. I saw a sterile white hospital room, my mother sobbing, her face buried in my father's chest. A doctor with a grim face, saying the words, "I'm so sorry, there was nothing more we can do, your daughter is gone." I saw my parents in their bedroom, the one I stood in now. They were holding the tiny, still body of their daughter, wrapped in a hospital blanket. My father with a face covered by a mask of a desperate, insane grief was drawing a circle on the floor with red chalk. "We can bring her back," he was whispering. His voice was a frantic prayer. "The book said we could. We just have to anchor her, give her a vessel to stay in." I saw them place the tiny body on the center of the circle. On the altar, I saw them kneeling, chanting words from a language that made my teeth ache. I saw the candles flicker and die, and a darkness fill the room as the tiny body on the altar twitched, just once. And I felt her spirit trapped, snatched back from the peace of oblivion and slammed back into her dead, decaying shell. I felt her confusion, her terror, her unending, eternal suffering, a conscious mind growing, learning, trapped in an inert, unchanging prison of flesh, unable to move, unable to speak, unable to do anything but feel slow, inexorable passing of decades, and knock, knock, knock on the silent wall of their bedroom. And through it all, I heard her voice, a clear, soul-shattering scream inside my head. "Please kill me!" I ripped my hand away, stumbling back, a strangled sob tearing from my throat. I finally understood. My parents weren't monsters, not in the way I thought. They were just broken, drowning in grief so profound they had committed an atrocity to try and escape it. They hadn't imprisoned a stranger, they had imprisoned their own daughter, my sister. I knew what I had to do. There was no other choice. I grabbed an old, soft blanket from the foot of their bed. I returned it to the hidden room and carefully, reverently wrapped the tiny, mummified body. It was as light as a bundle of dry leaves. I put it in my duffel bag, on top of my clothes. I took one last look at the sad, terrible little room, and then I walked out. I didn't close the hidden door. I didn't move the wardrobe back. I wanted them to know. I left the key in the kitchen table, walked out the front door, and never looked back. The drive was a blur. The visions didn't stop. I felt her gratitude, a wave of pure, beautiful relief, but it was tangled with an agony of her long imprisonment. I felt her pain, her loneliness, her terror, and I felt my parents' grief, a crushing, unending weight. I drove for hours until the city was a distant memory, until I was on a lonely road surrounded by nothing but fields and rust. I found what I was looking for, a desolate, abandoned scrapyard. There, among the mountains of rusted metal and broken dreams, I built a small pyre. I unwrapped my sister's body one last time, whispered an apology from my parents, for my own ignorance, for her entire stolen life. I laid her on the pyre, doused it in lighter fluid, and with the flick of a match, I set her free. I watched as the flames consumed her, and as her tiny, earthly prison turned to ash, I cried. I cried for the sister I never knew. I cried for the parents I could never go back to. I cried because I had done the most merciful thing I could imagine, and it was also the most monstrous. They'll come home. They'll see the open door. They'll know what I've done. They will hate me. They will despise me for taking away the one thing they had left of her, even if it was a perversion of her memory. I freed my sister, but I destroyed my family, and I don't know how I'm supposed to live with that. Oh my gosh, I ran out of breath. Alright, out of all the ones we've read, I feel like that one was the weakest. Not gonna lie. Let's do a shorter one now. Yeah, this one. Hi, Gaster. Welcome in. Welcome back. I'm gonna do another quick short one. A man keeps appearing in my baby photos, and now he's in every one I take. My mom always said I was a quiet baby, born in winter, baptized by spring. There's a photo from that day. We'd have forever, me in white, priest behind my parents, sunlight through stained glass. I've seen it 100 times, but last month I noticed something. In the corner, deep in the background, was a man, tall, hands clasped, just watching. Thing is, there's no window back there, just stone. I showed my mom. She says, that's not her he's not in her copy. We went to the church to ask the priest. He stared for a long time, then whispered something in Latin, and burned the photo right there. Said I should sleep with a rosary, that whatever I saw doesn't fade, it follows. Since then, I've taken a few selfies, just to feel normal, but every single one, in the reflection of a mirror or window behind me, he's there again. Same clothes, same folded hands, same stare. And now I'm starting to remember things I shouldn't. Mom says I never had a brother, but I remember him standing at the end of my crib. I got an idea. American breathing gun? Nandeska. Nani? Explain yourself. Ooh. Ugh. I'm trying to read these in character, but it's making me kind of breathless. had another short one. Okay, we'll do another short one. Gun who can survive a shotgun point blank range. But it's a gun. Guns can't die. You're a good reader, thank you. I was told that I was born blind. All my life, I was born blind. I messed up. Restart. I was told that I was born blind. All my life, I was told I was born blind. My parents described the world for me. Colors I'd never see, shadows I'd never know. I memorized the way things felt, and eventually I could build a picture of the world in my mind. But I never saw. I understood and accepted it. Until last night. I awoke in silence, not the usual comforting void, but something wrong. The way silence leans in when it wants to be noticed. I was sitting on my bed, still and disoriented, when I realized I could see the room. Dim and colorless, yes, but clear. My wallpaper was printed in faint vines. My old teddy bear sat in the rocking chair by the door. Panic set in slowly, like cold water leaking out a boot. I ran to the mirror. I'd never used it before, but I knew where it was. My hands trembled as I reached out. Reflected was a figure, me, but with eyes that were sunken and hollow as if they'd been removed. Eyes that shouldn't see. That's when I heard the knock. 3 soft taps on the window. My window is on the 2nd floor. There's no balcony, no tree. I turned. There was something outside, blurred and shifting through the fogged glass, watching me. Not standing, hovering, not knocking, beckoning. Then a voice, faint but clawing at my mind. You were never meant to see. We kept your eyes closed for a reason. The world around me began to pulse strangely, flickering like an old film reel, unraveling. It wasn't just the room. I could see too much. Cracks in the walls where nothing should be, strange symbols carved beneath my rug, shapes outside the balcony of normal perception. Creatures woven from black static, swaying in corners I'd never noticed. I closed my eyes tight, but I could still see. What's wrong? I turned as I heard my mother's familiar voice. I screamed as I saw what had asked me, such a comforting and innocent question. I was told I was born blind, but the lies are often kind, and seeing is not. I'm terrible because my first thought is like, damn, his mama ugly. I love your voice, thank you. Ooh, did you bring me mochi? Are you gonna share the mochi? Okay, so we read these two. We read that one. You're welcome, thank you. Which one is this one? Oh, the girlfriend tortured. I don't know if I want to read that one. I feel like it's going to be really dark. The missing kid on my street just walked into his house like nothing happened. That was a weird story, and narration makes it better. Thank you. Oh my, it's my first time eating some, so it's so yummy. You never had mochi before? Okay, enjoy. Is it ice cream mochi or just like mochi mochi? It's like your voice is just soothing and calming. That's the opposite of the vibe I'm going for. I'm trying to be creepy. It's Halloween. I'm a long-haul trucker. I stopped for a lost kid on a deserted highway in the dead of night. What I saw attached to him and the question he asked is why I don't drive anymore. What I saw attached to him and the question he asked is why I don't drive anymore. What's the difference? So there's a few. You can have like mochi, like strawberry daifuku, which is like mochi wrapped in wrapping around red bean paste and a strawberry, or you can have mochi that wraps up ice cream. Or they also have like mochi candy where it kind of has like a jelly filling. There's like a banana one I really like. It has like a banana. It has like a marshmallow in it, so it has like a little bit like a banana flavored jelly, and it has like a marshmallow on, with the jelly on top, and it's wrapped around this really soft mochi. It's very good. It is so creepy though, but it's calming. Probably because I've been stressed out all day. Alright, I'll take it. I'll take it. Hopefully, we're chilling. We're chilling. Just sit back and chill. I have a request for later. Can you please read Jeff the Killer? Ooh, I'm down to read it now. I've never read Jeff the Killer. I think it's ice cream and it's mango. Ooh, mango mochi is really good. How are you? I am good. I'm very good. I've had a wonderful last 2 days. Let me see. Let's pull up. How are you? Hope your Thanksgiving is wonderful. Didn't I send you the request? You sent a request? Did I not see it? Did I not notice it? I might have been wrapped up in what I was reading. I don't need the lore. Can you give me the actual pasta? Oh, is this it? I don't want the audio. Can you send me the thingy? Okay, let me go back. I can probably find it. It was at the top. That was something we clicked on. Reddit, Jeff Claire has this one? Niku Piku, thank you for the raid. Welcome, welcome. Where? Jeff the Pasta. Oh gosh. You got requested to read Jeff the Killer, but I can't find the actual story. They might have took it down. Miku, do you know where it is? I know you like creepypastas. I've actually never read it. Me neither. I don't want to see the picture. Hola. But we don't. Okay, let's move on to another one. Miku, if you can find it for me, that'd be great. But also, welcome Raiders from Niku's stream. I'm sure you had a wonderful time hanging out with Niku. But we're winding down to creepy pastas because it's Halloween. Why not search up a video of someone reading it? Because that's the point, is for me to read it. It was requested for me to read it. Thank you for the heart. Your likes on your life on TikTok is 666. It's okay if you can't find it, but thanks for taking the time to look for it. That's so weird. Why would there only be an audio of it, though? Wait, what if we try in creepypasta? Maybe it's in here. Oh, is that it? Creepypasta name Jeff the Killer. Real name Jeff C. Born as a green eyes, Jeff. Brother. Jeff was hauling. That's it. We found it. Yay! Okay. Jeff the Killer. Real name, Jeffrey Jeff C. Hodek. Birth date is September 22nd, 1982. Jeff the Killer's full name is Jeffrey C. Hodek. He was born on September 22nd, 1982. As of 2017, he is 35 years old, 2 years older than his brother, Leo Roman Hodek, who is 33 years old. Jeff has and still has dark brown hair and green eyes. Jeff was actually involved in a sulfuric acid incident. His burns did not involve flame. The event happened on his own house at the age of 21. He was not 13, and no bullies set him on fire. The acid was from cleansing products that had split in his bathtub in the process of cleaning his bathroom, leading his face to get third-degree burns and eat away at his skin. He does in face have a nose. It's described as slits for nostrils. He also never burnt his eyelids with a lighter. His eyelids just became a bit red and irritated from the acid. Jeff never stabbed Leo, nor did Jeff kill or attempt to kill their parents. Jeff had a close bond with his brother and would never hurt him. Jeff is asexual, meaning he has no sexual interest at all. Leo is still very close with Jeff. They live together, go golfing together, and tell each other everything. Leo is the only person who knows that Jeff kills. Jeff is 5'7", 5'10". He is an average weight, responsibly lean, and slightly muscular. He keeps himself fit by self-discipline, taking LSD and painkillers. Jeff doesn't kill children and or avoids doing so. He feels that children have purity and can be good in life. His theme song is not Sweet Dreams Are Made of This by Marilyn Manson. Jeff's original theme is I Guess You're Right by the Posies. Jeff's official catchphrase is joy, it's joy, it's joy. But his first words before killing his first victim, his neighbor, was this kid needs to go to sleep. Jeff has his own personal demon that torments him, called weakness. His nose was severely damaged by the acid, and only has slits for nostrils, barely noticeable with his ghastly face. Jeff is hauling a gallon acid into the bathroom to clean out his bathtub. He slipped in a bar slope, in which he fell, and the acid splashed all over his face, damaging his face. The neighbor heard his cries for help and took him to the hospital. Leo was at work, but came over to the hospital as soon as he heard what happened to Jeff. Never again was Jeff the same. His current status is unknown at the time. Weight 5, height 5'7" to 5'10", weight 141 pounds. Noticeable features: heavily damaged face, long sharp black nails on hand, damage from self-defense throughout his career. Allies: his brother Leo, the Roman Hodek. Enemies: young bounty hunter, special SCU agent. He uses all sorts of weapons he can get his hands on, from his bare hands all the way up to an Uzi. He used to use a kitchen knife for some of his early kills. He was most recently equipped with a hunting knife with a sheath and a utility belt with assorted tools, throwing darts, flares, chloroform, explosives, flashlight, surgeon mask, and he occasionally wears to hide part of his face. Usually removed for damage during the Final Survivor segment, where Jeff is bested by the final survivor and injured, thus retreating to kill another day. Family: Liu Roman Hodek brother. Weapon of choice: kitchen knife. Type of killer: sociopathic serial killer. Power: skills, hand-to-hand combat. Enhanced senses: yes. Athleticism: slightly above average, can outrun most people and climb really quickly. Inhuman durability: not exactly inhuman, but he's pretty durable. Any attacks that would cripple an average adult male would cause Jeff to be stunned for a few seconds before shaking it off and going for the kill. He has a high pain tolerance, able to survive 3 shots in the abdominal area and still stand, but get fatigued with a handgun. And he can heal a bit quicker than average people. For example, a person had a basic scratch, takes 5 days for it to heal. Now with Jeff's basic scratch, the same type of previously stated would heal almost completely overnight. He can take a good amount of punishment before he's neutralized. Inhuman stamina. His stamina is slightly below average. He's able to stay on someone's trail for about 5 minutes before he gets winded and takes a break. His stamina does replenish, however, quickly. What he lacks in stamina, he makes up for in speed. Great stealth. His stealth ability is superb, barely ever caught sneaking into his potential victim's room, and even hiding himself very quickly when someone investigates the area he was in. His stealth is so excellent to the point that the people who ever escaped Jeff, or was spared by him, believes he has the ability to teleport. High speed, another attribute he's superb at. His speed is very impressive, able to keep up with a speeding car for about 9 seconds before resting. The faster he goes, the more stamina he's burning. Murder skills. The skill improves over the course of Jeff's career. The first year of killing people, he would make a rookie mistake and end up getting wounded. Early in his career, Jeff was more aggressive, arrogant, reckless, and sloppy with his kills, resulting in the victim's more brutal demise due to him not yet being precise and professional as he would soon be later in his career, and is well skilled enough not to make rookie errors and overcome more people who face him. As it is now, became later down Jeff's career, he became more disciplined, more skilled with the art of murder, as well as knowing the human body to attack the weak spots for clearer and more professional skills. Only every once in a while, being brutal just for the hell of it, His cocky and sardonic personality during his early year have been changed with more of a stoic and determined demeanor, with occasional sardonic quips, showing that despite improving his combat skills, he'd never lose the morbid, satirical personality, but only keeping them more subtle than before. And his increased strength, psychopathy, very unhinged. He sees humanity as a blight and believes he's doing the right thing. He had a shred of humanity inside him due to Liu's love and support. Jeff's ultimate goal is to get rid of Wicked and live with his brother on an island away from the corrupt society he despises. Without Jeff's brother to help him, Jeff may have died much sooner. Jeff is also haunted by a personal demon of his nicknamed Agnes Grimville, a horrifying, sinister entity that feeds off of misery. Jeff is a tortured soul doing a torturer's job. Jesus Christ. That was a painful read. It's a real that was a pain. That felt very early 2010s forums. Oh, that was painful. Never again. Now I know I never read Jeff the Killer. I loved it. I'm glad you guys liked it. Okay. It was really soothing, even knowing you were talking about murder. It sounds like an old, like a really poorly written RP character bio from back in the day. My allergies are acting up. I can feel my ear getting itchy. I think they recently said they figured out who the picture and the Jack the Killer image was. And it's like actually super depressing. Like, I'm not sure if it's the actual story, but I believe she's, it was a picture, like a prize of like an essay victim. Or was that one of the theories? I don't remember if that was the actual victim or if that was the theory. They did, yeah. Okay, I wanted to see how long this was. Ooh, this one's also really long. Let me save it. Stop it. Let me see. My neighbor's TV won't turn off. He's been dead a week. Let's just do a short one. You should read about the creepypasta Eyeless Jack. What fictional killer could you beat? All of them. And the most dangerous killer of them all. In Minecraft. My neighbor's TV won't turn off. He's been dead a week. I live across from a guy who passed away last week, Mr. Langston. Quiet dude, always kept to himself, old school TV guy. He'd fall asleep to game shows every night, nothing weird. He died alone in his kitchen, heart attack. Landlord changed the locks. Power was supposed to be off, But every night since, his TV turns on. Just static. Loud, violent static. It starts around 2:13 a.m. exactly, and it only plays when the lights are off in my apartment. I knocked once to check. It turned off for a second. I touched the door. No one answered. I recorded the sound one night and slowed the audio. There's a voice under the static. It says my name. I haven't gone near the door since. So you can be like Yagami, okay? So Light should have been caught much sooner than he was. Light's a dumbass. I can hear my dog tapping around in her little claws. I worked at Instagram. What happened February 26, 2024 wasn't a glitch. Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween! Happy Halloweeny! If you could have a fight, if you can fight a fictional bad guy and win, who would you pick? Ooh, this is long. Well, no, it's Halloween. Light was an alien, Elle shouldn't have died. Who agrees? It was so over Death Note when Elle died. Spoiler. Okay, this is like a medium one. That's good. Next creepypasta. It's 1:57 a.m. Oh, so it's not Halloween for you anymore. But it still is for me for another hour. He's arriving tonight. It all started a month ago, with a strange dream that kept repeating itself night after night. Train tracks stretched into darkness, and I was standing beside them, waiting for something, far in the distance. I could hear a sound. It wasn't an engine, and it wasn't the clatter of wheels. It was something slower, heavier, almost organic. It felt like a heartbeat. The heartbeat of a train. At first, I didn't pay much attention, just another weird dream, I thought, probably stress from work. But then strange things began to happen. Scratches appeared on the wall next to my bed. I started noticing marks in the dust, like something had been crawling across the floor. My palms were covered in raw scrapes, as if I'd spent the night holding onto scraping and scalding metal. One night, the dream shifted. I was standing closer to the tracks, and for the first time, I saw the shape of the train emerging from the fog. I couldn't see the details, but it felt as its gaze settled on me. It wasn't headlights. It was eyes. Suddenly, I was inside. I don't remember how I got there. The carriage was dark, filled with workbenches, books, bizarre tools, and people screaming in voices I couldn't understand. I tried to look at their faces, but they were distorted, like something had tried to recreate them from memory and got them wrong. One figure stood out among the rest, tall, wearing a hood, giving silent commands to the others. I tried to get closer to see his face, but he noticed me first. That was the worst part. The moment our eyes met, something ancient and primal took hold of me. I woke up at 4 in the morning, drenched in sweat and shaking. There was a scrap of paper lying on the floor next to my bed. It had 3 words on it. He's arriving tonight. The next day I convinced myself it was just anxiety. I stayed off of social media, didn't drink coffee, even tried guided meditation videos. None of it helped. That night, I didn't dream. There was no sleep, no darkness, only the tracks. They twisted sideways at impossible angles, like geometry had finally given up. I felt movement beneath me. I couldn't see the source, and then the sound returned. Thump, thump, thump. Only this time, it wasn't a heartbeat. It was breathing. I turned, and for the first time I saw its eyes, not lights, eyes, deep inside the train's mechanical skull. Something was watching me with cold, fascinated curiosity. Like a person studying an ant farm. I couldn't move. I could only listen as something whispered directly into my head. The voice was thick with rust, like it traveled through pipes, slick with oil and blood. You held out for a long time, but everything ends. I woke up with my mattress soaked in water. At least I thought it was water. It was black. It smelled like diesel. There was a mark on my palm, burned into the skin, a symbol like two sets of rails twisted into the shape of an eye. I don't remember how it got there, but I know what it means. He's arriving tonight. What time is it for you? It is 11:01. 11:01. I'm going to bed. Have a good night. Don't forget, he is arriving tonight. Jesus Christ. Miku, I wasn't ready for that. That to be your message. Oh, this is the proper Jeff the Killer. Don't say that. Thank you, Niku. I'm not reading that. You wanted the post. I wasn't expecting the picture of his face in the DMs. Thank you, I appreciate you. You're the best. 10 out of 10. Would wifey you up again? Do you have Discord? Yes. All my links are in my link tree in my profile. Okay. Surprisingly enough, my voice isn't screwed up. Like my throat doesn't hurt. Considering the first one we read was really long. Ugh, that one's also long. I don't want to read. I want to read like a half long one. My psychiatrist said the man I see behind me is a hallucination. She was wrong. Man gave me his old family videos. After watching them, I understand why he was so desperate to get rid of them. I want to read this one, actually. Let's do this one. A man gave me his old family videos. After watching them, I understood why he was so desperate to get rid of them. My job is trash. I don't mean that in the metaphorical, I hate my career kind of way. I mean it literally. I'm a garbage collector. My alarm goes off at 4 a.m. I pull on steel-toed boots, and I spend the next 8 hours heaving the things people don't want anymore into the back of a growling truck. It's dirty, smelly, physically demanding job, but it pays the bills for my tiny apartment, and it's honest work. You also learn a lot about people from what they throw away. Most of the time, it's just bags of household garbage, but sometimes you find treasures. A broken piece of furniture that can be fixed, a box of old books. People get rid of the strangest things. My rule is that if it's a box that's set out separately, it's fair game to take a look. That's how I ended up with the tapes. It happened a few weeks ago. I was on my usual route through a quiet, older suburban neighborhood. One of the residents, a man probably in his late 20s, flagged me down. He looked awful. His eyes were wide and bloodshot, with dark, bruised-looking circles under them, like he hadn't slept in a month. His hands were trembling. "Hey," he said, his voice a hoarse whisper. "You're the garbage guy, right? Can you just take this for me? Just get out of my house, please." He shoved a heavy cardboard box in my hands. It was sealed with a single, hasty strip of packing tape. "Sure thing, man," I said. "Just leave it on the curb next time." "No," he said, his eyes darting around nervously. "I need it gone now." He didn't wait for a reply. He just turned and practically ran into his house, slamming the door behind him. I shrugged, tossed the box into the cab of my truck to look through later, and continued my route. That night, back in my apartment, I finally opened the box. It was heavy. Inside, packed neatly, there were at least 50 old video cassettes. The kind we all used in the 90s. Big, clunky black rectangles. None of them had labels. They were completely anonymous. I'm not gonna lie, my first thought was a little voyeuristic. Who knew what could be on these? Maybe something weird, something interesting. It was a window into a stranger's life. Anything was better than the usual mind-numbing cable TV. I had an old VCR TV combo I'd picked up from a thrift store, so I pulled it out, blew the dust off of it, and popped in the first tape. The screen flickered to life with a burst of static, then resolved into shaky, unsaturated home video. It was a kid's birthday party, a backyard, a bunch of screaming children, a cake with cartoon characters on it. The timestamp in the corner said 1998. Watching it, I got a strange sense of secondhand nostalgia. The clothes, the music, the quality of the video itself, it was like a time capsule. And I recognized one of the kids, a small, skinny boy with a goofy grin. It was the man who'd given me the box. The next few tapes were more of the same. Christmas mornings with mountains of discarded wrapping paper, awkward family vacations on the beach, the camera panning shakily across sunburned faces. I watched him grow on those tapes. From a little kid to a gawky teenager, it was strangely intimate. Watching these moments that were never meant for my eyes, it was also normal. Boring even. I was about to give up and just toss the whole box. That's when I put in the tape of the barbecue. The timestamp said July 2002. The scene was familiar. Sunny backyard, adults drinking beer, kids running through a sprinkler. The man from the tapes, now a teenager, was trying to flip burgers on a grill, clearly failing. It was another slice of mundane life. It was half watching, half scrolling on my phone, and then the video glitched. The screen dissolved into a brief, violent snowstorm of static, and loud bzzz coming through the speakers. It lasted only a second. Then the picture returned. The scene was the same. The burgers were still burning, the kids were still screaming, but something was different. In the background, hanging from the thick branches of a large oak tree, there was a shadow. It wasn't there before the glitch. I rewound the tape, watched it again. Normal scene, bzz, glitch, and there it was. It was a dark, amorphous shape, like a smudge on the lens, but it had a distinct, unsettling form. It looked tentacled, like a squid or an octopus made of pure darkness, just dangling there among the trees. I leaned closer to the screen, my heart beating a little faster. It was probably nothing, a film artifact, a bit of the tape degrading in a weird way. That had to be it. I shook my head, dismissing the creepy feeling crawling up my spine, and let the tape play out. The shadow never moved. It was just there, a silent, impossible observer, and a happy family memory. I put in the next tape. A Christmas morning from 2004, the family was in their living room opening presents. The teenage boy, the man, was showing off a new video game console. It was all laughter and joy. I was watching intently now, waiting. Bzz. The glitch, the static, the picture returned, and my blood ran cold. It was there again, the thing. It wasn't in the tree in the background anymore. It was in the house. For a few frames, just a fraction of a second, I saw it standing in the dark. In the dark hallway that led to the living room. It was clearer this time. It had a depth, three-dimensional quality. It wasn't a flat shadow. It was a thing, a tall, spitily dark thing that looked like long, thin limbs that coiled and shifted like they had no bones. It was just standing there, in the shadows of the hallway, watching the family celebrate. I rewound it, played it in slow motion. Before the glitch, the hallway was empty, and after the glitch, the creature was there. It wasn't part of the original recording. The glitch wasn't revealing something that was already there. The glitch was adding it. It was inserting this observer into the memory. That's when the obsessions began. I spent the next 3 days doing nothing but watching those tapes. I called in sick to work. I didn't eat. I barely slept. I sat in my darkened apartment, the only light coming from the glowing screen of the old TV as I watched. Every single tape was the same, a normal family event, a wedding, a graduation, a trip to a theme park, and in every single one, the glitch would happen. And every single time, the thing would be there, and it was getting closer. On a tape of a trip to the zoo, it was a dark shape behind the glass of a reptile house. On a tape of a school play, it was a tall, thin figure standing in the wings of the stage. In each appearance, it became more defined. The vague octopus-like shadow resolved into a distinct silhouette. The silhouette grew limbs, a torso, a head. It was impossibly tall and thin, its limbs too long, its joints bending at unnatural angles. It was like a spider. A man had been melted together in the dark. It never moved, it never interacted with the family, it just watched. A silent, parasitic passenger on their memories. Good night. I felt like I was losing my mind. Was I just seeing things? Was the man who gave me the tapes some kind of weird indie filmmaker who made found footage horror? But it all felt too real. The family, their lives, it was authentic. The creature was the only thing that felt wrong. I got to the last tape in the box. It was older than the others. The quality much worse. The timestamp read 1995. The tape began in a sterile white hospital room, a tired-looking woman in a hospital bed, a man who I recognized as a younger version of the father from the other tapes, holding a small, swaddled bundle. It was the birth of the man who gave me the box, his first moments of life captured in grainy magnetic tapes. I braced myself. I stared at the screen, my knuckles white, waiting for the inevitable glitch, waiting to see where the creature would appear this time, in the corner of the room, in the reflection of a window. The tape played on. The baby cried. The mother smiled, exhausted but happy. The father cooed. The camera zoomed on the baby's tiny, wrinkled face. It played perfectly from start to finish. No glitches, no static, no creature. The tape ended, the screen dissolving into a blank blue void. A wave of immense, shuddering relief washed over me. I laughed, I choked, hysterical sound. It was over. The last tape was clean. It was just a weird, reoccurring flaw in the other tapes, a magnetic anomaly. My brain had filled within the blanks, created a monster out of nothing. I was an idiot, a sleep-deprived, paranoid idiot. I leaned forward and turned off the VCR. The TV screen went black, and I saw it. It wasn't a reflection. It wasn't a trick of the light. It was in the room with me. The darkness beyond the television, in the corner where the shadows were deepest, was wrong. It was a patch of absolute black, a void that seemed to drink the faint light from the street lamp outside, and from that void 2 points of light ignited, 2 giant crimson, self-luminous eyes. They weren't looking at the TV, they were looking at me. I can see its shape now, fully formed, no longer a grainy image on a screen. It was pressed against the wall and the ceiling, its long spinally limbs splayed out like a monster spider. Its body was shifting massive shadows, but those eyes were solid and real and filled with an ancient, terrifying intelligence. I don't think I screamed. I think the sound was trapped in my throat, a solid ball of pure terror. I scrambled backwards, falling out of my chair. A crab walked across the floor until my back hit the opposite wall. I fumbled onto the lamp at the end of my table, my fingers feeling its useless, clumsy sausages. I found the switch and flicked it. The room was flooded with light. The corner was empty. The TV was just a TV. The shadows were just shadows. It was gone. But it had been there. I knew it. I spent the rest of the nights huddled in my kitchen, clutching a butcher knife, jumping at every creak and groan of the old building. Sleep was a country I could no longer visit. The next morning, driven by a desperate need for answers, I decided to go back to the man's house. I had to know. I had to ask him what he put me through. I gathered up the tapes, put them back in their box, and drove over to his neighborhood. When I pulled onto his street, I saw police cars. Yellow tape was cordoning off this house. My heart sank into my stomach. I parked down the street and walked over, trying to look like a curious neighbor. A small group of actual neighbors were gathered on the sidewalk, speaking in hushed, morbid tones. "Just found him this morning," an elderly woman was saying. "Terrible, so young." "What happened?" another neighbor asked. The woman lowered her voice, but it was close enough to hear. "They're not saying much." But my cousin's son was one of the officers on the scene. He said it was the strangest thing he'd ever seen. The man was just sitting in his chair, no signs of struggle, but his head, well, the top of his skull, was gone, and his brain, it was missing. I didn't hear anything else. The words hit me like a physical blow. His brain was missing? The world tilted on its axis. It turned and stumbled back to my car, the box of tapes feeling like a weight of 1,000 pounds. I got home, my mind a black roar of static. I needed to get rid of them, burn them, throw them into a river. I brought the box inside, and as I was about to jump into... damn it. And as I was about to just dump the contents into a trash bag, my fingers brushed against a piece of paper at the very bottom, hidden beneath the last cassette. I hadn't noticed it before. It was a small, folded note. The handwriting was shaky, erratic, the writing of a man on the edge of utter collapse. It unfolded. It only had a few words. "I'm sorry. It promised me it would leave me alone." And in that moment, I understood everything. He passed it on to me, and now I don't know what to do. Do I live with this thing, this silent observer, waiting for it to get hungry? Or do I find another person, another stranger, and hand them an old box of tapes? Do I save myself by damning someone else just like he did? But that hadn't saved him. The creature had lied. It had moved on to me, and then it had gone back to collect its final payment from him, his brain. Maybe that's what it eats, minds. I don't know. All I know is that I'm so tired that I'm terrified to go to sleep. That one was weaker. Also, Lisa, I saw you pop in here. You better still be here. Let's see. I think we can do like 2 more. My name is Edwin. This is a good length. I was a troll. Never mind. I don't want a troll. Not a troll. Text story. I was being haunted by a bear in the woods. The thing that saved me was so much worse. Shit. That's long as fuck. It's fine. You hydrate. Watch me give myself a nightmare. I was being haunted by a bear in the woods. The thing that saved me was so much worse. I have to check something. I was being haunted by a bear in the woods. Oh wait, I already read that. Anyways, I was being haunted by a bear in the woods. The thing that saved me was so much worse. I've always been a hiker. Not a casual one, though. I love the solitude. I love the feeling of being a small, insignificant part of something vast and ancient. The quiet of a forest is a kind of church for me, or at least it used to be. Yesterday I decided to tackle a remote section of the Greenhorn Mountains. It's a rugged, beautiful area that doesn't get a lot of foot traffic. I parked my car on a dusty trailhead, clipped my pack on, and hid it into the wood. The first few hours were bliss. The air was cool and smelled of pine and damp earth. The only sounds were the wind in the trees, the chatter of squirrels, and the rhythmic crunch of boots on the trail. It was perfect. I was about 5 miles in, deep into a section of dense, old-growth trees. When I first heard it, it was a crunch, a heavy one. Anyone who spent time in the wood learns to catalog sounds. A squirrel is light. A squirrel is a light, frantic skitter. A deer is a delicate snap of a twig followed by silence. This was different. This was the sound of a significant weight deliberately breaking a fallen branch. It came from somewhere off to my left. behind a thick strand of furs. I stopped, my ears straining, and scanned the trees. Nothing. I told myself it was probably a buck, a big one, and kept walking, maybe a little faster than before. 100 yards later, I hear it again. Crunch. Closer this time. And it was followed by the sound of something large moving through the undergrowth. A heavy shush, shush, shush of foliage being pushed aside. My blood went cold. It wasn't a deer, this was something big. I slowly, carefully turned my head, and I saw it. Through a gap in the trees, maybe 60, 70 yards back, was a bear. A big black bear. Not just big, but massive. Its head was down, sniffing the path where I had just walked. It wasn't just wandering. It was following my trail. My heart hammered against my ribs. I've seen bears before, but always at a safe distance, and they've always been more scared of me than I was of them. This was different. The way it moved, the deliberate, focused way it was focused on the deliberate, focused ways it followed my scent. This was a hunt. Every survival guide, every nature documentary I'd ever seen flooded my brain. Don't run. Running makes you prey. Don't make eye contact. Don't show fear. I took a step. Deep breath. Tried to calm the frantic hummingbird in my chest. Okay. I'm okay. There's still distance. I just need to be smart. My plan was simple. Keep moving at a steady pace. Putting distance between us, and slowly... I had to sneeze. Jeez. Also, good morning. I sneezed so hard that hurt my ribs. Oh my god. Okay. My plan was simple. Keep moving at a steady pace, putting distance between us, and slowly start to curve my path in a wide arc. The main trail back to the car was about a mile to my east. If I could circle around the bear's position without it realizing I was flanking it, I could get back to the main trail and head for safety. It was a gamble, but it was better than just walking in a straight line, leading it like the Pied Piper of Doom. So I walked. The next hour was the most terrifying, mentally exhausting hour of my life. Every step was deliberate. Every rustle of leaves behind me sent a jolt of pure adrenaline through my system. I didn't dare look back too often. Maybe once every 5 minutes. Every time I did, my heart would sink. It was still there. A lumbering black shadow, moving silently between the trees, always keeping the same distance. It was patient. It wasn't in a hurry. It knew it had all the time in the world. The beautiful forest had transformed into a claustrophobic, terrifying labyrinth. Every tree was an obstacle that hid me from it, but also hid it from me. I kept moving, trying to execute my wide, circling maneuver, but the terrain was getting thicker, forcing me into narrow game trails. The distance was closing. I could hear its heavy breathing now, a low, guttural, huffing sound that seemed to vibrate through the ground itself. The pretense was over. I knew, and it was done being patient. I glanced over my shoulder. It was only 40 yards away now, and it was moving faster. Its walk breaking into a low, looping trot. The rational part of my brain screamed, "Don't run," but the primal, terrified lizard brain took over. All my clever plans evaporated in a cloud of pure panic. I ran. I crashed through the underground branches. I crashed through the overgrowth, branches whipping at my face, my lungs burning. I didn't care about the trail anymore. I just ran downhill, hoping to gain speed. Behind me, I hear the bear break into full charge. The sound of its apocalyptic The sound was apocalyptic. It wasn't a lumbering beast anymore. It was a freight train of fur and muscle and teeth, snapping like trees, like twigs. Its paws thundering in the forest floor. It was gaining on me. I could feel it. I was going to die. A stupid, terrified death, torn apart in the middle of nowhere. And then I heard the whistle. It was a simple, clear tune, a littling 3-note melody, like something casually whistling a folk song. Doo-dee-doo. It cut through the chaos of the chase, clear as a bell, surrounded. It sounded human. It sounded like help. My brain, desperate for any shred of hope, latched onto it. A ranger, another hiker, someone had heard the commotion. The whistle came again from somewhere ahead and to my right. Doo-dee-doo. It was a signal, a direction. Without a second thought, I veered toward the sound. Hope gave my burning legs new strength. I scrambled over a fallen log, my eyes scanning the trees ahead for a flash of color, for a friendly human face. The bear was roaring behind me now, the sound of pure, predatory fury. It was so close I could smell its hot, musky scent. "Help!" I screamed, my voice cracking. "I'm here, help me!" The whistling continued, but it seemed further away now. The notes were fainter, more distant. My heart sank. Was I going the wrong way? Or was my savior moving away from me? Panic surged in. I just had to be faster. I pushed myself harder, my vision starting to tunnel. The sound of the bear was right at my heels. I could practically feel its breath on my neck. I burst through the final curtain of ferns into a small, unnaturally quiet clearing, and I saw him. It wasn't a ranger. Standing in the middle of the clearing was a man, or the shape of a man. He was impossibly tall and thin, like a figure stretched out of a nightmare. He wore tattered, filthy rags that hung from his skeletal frame, and a wide-brimmed, stained hat that was pulled low, shadowing his face. Long, stringy, bone-white hair hung down past his shoulders. He was just standing there, utterly still, turned slightly away from me. He was carrying a large, heavy-looking leather sack over one shoulder. As I stumbled to a halt, my mind struggling to process what I was seeing, he shifted the bag. The top flopped open for a second, and something pale spilled out, landing on the mossy ground with a soft, wet thud. It was a human hand. My brain short-circuited. I stared at the severed hand, then at the sack, and I could suddenly make out the lumpy, gruesome shapes within it. The curve of a foot, the unmistakable shape of a human femur, and another hand, its fingers curled into a fist. The stories my grandmother used to tell me, scary folk tales from her village, to keep the kids from wandering off at night, crashed into my mind. The impossibly tall, thin man, the sack of bones, the whistling. El Sibon, the whisperer. He turned his head slowly, and I saw his face beneath the brim of the hat. It was a ghastly, emasculated face, with skin stretched tight over his skull, and he smiled. It was a wide, horrifying smile, full of yellowed, broken teeth. He wasn't a savior. He was the thing the bear was running from. He was the thing I had run to. The whistle hadn't been a call for help. It had been his own hunting song. A roar from behind me snapped me out of my paralysis. The bear crashed into the clearing, its eyes wild, foam flying from its jaws. It saw me, and then it saw the tall thing, the sack of bones. The bear, its massive, terrifying engine of destruction, skidded to a halt. A low, guttural growl rumbled in its chest, a sound of fear and aggression all at once. The man in the rags just stood there, his horrible smile never wavering. My survival instinct, which had already been screaming, went into overdrive. I didn't think. I reacted. I threw myself sideways, diving headfirst into a thick, thorny brush at the edge of the clearing. The thorns tore at my skin and clothes, but I didn't care. I was hidden. From my painful hiding spot, I peeked through the leaves. The scene in the clearing was tableau from hell. The whistler stood motionless, the sack of horrors wrestling at its feet. The bear, driven by instinct or territorial rage, rose up on its hind legs. It stood a full 8, maybe 9 feet tall. A mountain of muscle and claw. It let out a deafening roar that shook the very air and swiped one of the massive paws at the tall, thin man. I didn't wait to see the blow land. I couldn't. I scrambled out the other side of the bush and ran. I ran back the way I came, away from the clearing, away from the 2 monsters fighting for a prize for me. I ran like I'd never run in my life. My mind was a blank slate of pure terror, and then I heard it. It wasn't a roar, it was a scream, a high-pitched, agonized animal scream of unbearable pain. It was the bear. The sound cut off abruptly, followed by a wet, cracking sound that I will hear in my nightmares for the rest of my life. And then the whistle started again. Doo-dee-doo. But this time, it was different. It was loud. It was close. It sounded like it was right behind my ear. And in that moment of ultimate terror, a fragment of the old story, the one my grandmother told me, flashed in my head, a warning. When the whistle sounds far away, he's right beside you. When it sounds close, he's far away, and you have a chance to run. I didn't look back. I just ran. I ran toward the memory of the main trail, the close, cheerful whistling, my only companion. It was my guide, my metronome of terror. As long as it was close, I was gaining distance. The thought was insane, but it was the only thing keeping me going. For 3 minutes, maybe 4, an eternity, I ran with that tune right in my ear, pushing me forward. Then I burst onto the main trail. I recognized it immediately. My car was less than a mile away. I risked a glance behind me. I saw nothing but trees. And the whistle, it was fainter now, more distant, which meant he was coming. He was done with the bear. I have never known a fear like the one that seized me then. I sprinted down that trail, my legs pumping of pure adrenaline. I could hear him coming. I could see him. I couldn't see him, but I could feel his presence, a cold dread that seemed to chase me, to suck the warmth from the air. The whistling got fainter and fainter, a whisper in the wind. I saw my car through the trees, the glint of sun in the windshield, and the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I fumbled for my keys, my hands shaking so violently I dropped them twice. I unlocked the door, I threw myself inside and slammed the lock. I jammed the key in the ignition and turned. The engine roared to life. I didn't look in the rear mirror. I couldn't. I stomped on the gas pedal and the car shot forward, spitting gravel. I drove, and I didn't stop until I saw the lights of a rundown motel. So I'm here now. I don't know what to do. How do you explain this to anyone? But I had to tell someone. I had to warn someone. The things in the woods are real. The old stories are warnings, not entertainment. And if you're ever lost in the deep, dark woods and you hear a whistle, don't run towards it. It is not a friend. It is not help. It's a lure. You can't sleep? Did you get scared? Did you get scared by the creepypastas? I was bragging how I haven't hurt my voice from reading, but I was struggling on that one. I think because I read so many. I don't usually read out loud. What is it? Was Jeff the killer? Jeff is always the killer. It's always his fault. Nico, I'm getting old. How was the rest of the stream though, Nico? You saw you were playing Outlast? Nah, why would you ever... You're not, baby. Why would you ever think that? No, that's not sure. See. Just wanted to keep in the daily streams going, even if for just an hour. That's a good idea. I think I saw there's a VTuber on TikTok who is committed to streaming every day. I think on like days when he can't do like longer stream, he does like he does 2 streams, and each of them are like an hour. I've been meaning to follow up because he's supposed to like document. He's supposed to document how well that does for him. I need to aggressively stretch. I know some dude, not a VTuber, who did it for a whole year a while back. Don't see him streaming anymore. That's not a good sign. I don't know. I think it's bad for your... I think it'll make you burn out if you like go at it too hard. I was really like the idea of streaming 4 to 3 days and then taking especially at least one day off for yourself, and then other days to make other kind of content. If it's long stream, sure, but an hour to kind of check in doesn't sound too bad with how I have things going right now. Fair enough. Fair enough. Kind of want to aim for a month. You got this. I believe in you. Ganbatte. Are you gonna stream tomorrow morning then? Yeah. I was considering it, but I have to go to the market to get the sushi stuff. And the soy sauce. Oh, you're right. I meant to buy more soy sauce. I thought I ordered some, but I actually didn't. I got a bottle of, what is it? Of Taco Bell mild salsa. You have some? I want to get a. I want to get a big. I feel like it's cheaper to like buy like a big thing of it, because like kind of takes me a long time to go through it. You also use it more than I do. To be fair, you use it a lot when you're over my place. Yeah. How many of these did I read? I love these. I I'm actually like really enjoying reading these. Like this is kind of comfy. But since I'm not used to reading out loud, I can't do a lot in one sitting. I was really struggling to read that one because I feel like my mouth got tired. Ooh, okay. It finally feels crazy. I did 2 streams today, Nika. Are you proud of me? Let's see. Oh, okay. I think I am gonna wrap up though. Try to get some sleep. I need to get some new blue light blocking glasses because my eyes are tired. I don't know, I keep thinking Rio's gonna be on, but he's not. We're used to him being on Saturdays. I'm used to him being on late. When it's late, I think, okay, Rio-chan. I can raid Rio-chan. Wow, why did my freaking frame rate just like plummet aggressively? That's crazy. Alright. I'm wrapping up for the night. Mostly because my back is killing me. Thank you for stream. Thank you for the raid again. Couldn't sleep. We'll get some sleep. Thank you mucho for the follow. I don't know what happened to my frame rate. Alright. Send Lou some love.